This is Wild on 7th, your favorite Wild podcast.
Did you guys see this? This is unbelievable. What is that all about, Kinger?
Get in here for the real thing.
Like, let's get weird.
Maybe I blacked out trying to figure out what was going on.
Doubt, worry, fear, because that's what we're breaking the mold on here.
Welcome to Wild on 7th, presented by Pilot Games. We're here until it's here.
All right, welcome back to Wild on 7th, your favorite Wild podcast. As always, we are presented by our friends at Pilot Games. Make sure when you're out, probably at the local establishment while your kids are trying out for hockey right now, and you can't go in there because nobody's allowed in the building. You have to go someplace. You go to your local pub, you grab a drink, grab a tablet too, because when you win, your community wins too. Yeah, you take home a couple of bucks, and then the money gets donated to your kids, and hey, everybody wins, right? So, hey, let's bring in our buddy Radio Joe. Kinger, how are we feeling after the big weekend and after, Billy Guerin's wallet has officially been set on fire?
I feel so safe. I feel like a weighted blanket is on me. I'm cozy. The TV tray is out. 97 is home. He's one of us. He chose us. That's how I like to think of it. He bought in. He's with us. We're in the foxhole. Let's go. I'm thrilled. I'm absolutely thrilled.
Were you ever anxious it wasn't going to get done, Joe?
Me?
Yeah.
A little bit. But now reading up on it, and talking to some people, I don't think that the nerves should have been that high for Wild Nation. Just take a deep breath. It was going to get done in time. Kaprizov wants to win, man. And I think that was probably some of the holdup. If you read between the lines a little bit, like in some of the comments that Craig Leopold, the Wild majority owner, made, it was like, at no point did Kaprizov bring up the money, right? That was the agent's job. Kaprizov talked about trying to win a Stanley Cup. I love hearing that. I love what Kinger said, that he chose to be here. He could have waited to see if the grass was greener and just elected to stay here, to commit to here. And I think it's an exciting time for the organization. And the GusBus got paid too. So it's a good time to be a Wild player if you, and the Rossi deal a few weeks back. So the core is here. The core is locked up. Maybe a little anxious at times the last few weeks trying to see how this thing would play out. But I love the fact that it's done now. No distractions. Like, no distractions Thursday night in St. Louis, game 1 of 82, and let's roll.
Yeah, I like how all that was kind of managed too. Like,
yeah,
kind of the narrative, and we'll get into that. Big show today, good show. This is when we've got, the season preview. We'll get into some predictions. We've got to talk Kirill and probably GusBus, and we've got a great guest at the end, and Vlad Tarasenko, so that's going to be a lot of fun to talk about. But I think we do probably still have to start with Kirill a little bit, because I think you're right. There's just so much to talk about when it comes to Kirill and him re-signing, and we haven't officially talked since. I mean, I think the deal probably got announced like right after we recorded our last podcast. So when you go back to your point, Joe, and kind of read what was said, you can almost, it makes sense now. Like, Wild fans, don't worry. Like, I like it here.
Yeah.
Kirill would say all of these things. And the problem is sometimes those things get said by other people or other free agents, and it turns out to not be true. It just didn't really feel that way with Kirill. And I don't think he's the kind of guy that can fleece you. And when you go to the press conference from last year, like, no, I like Minnesota. I want to be here, and I enjoy playing here. Now you can believe all of those things because he signed the ticket, and it's done, an 8-year deal. And we've also heard that never once did he ask or entertain a short-term deal. It was never he didn't want to be here. It was probably all agent stuff, so money, and probably figuring out. And we had Stalock on the last episode too, talking about that, and he made a real good point that you never know with these deals what the hang-up is. It might be details within the contract, and Kaprizov's is very bonus heavy early on, and that might be something that takes time to figure out, so but in general, I think you're right. It was hard not to get, and I have to admit, I was like, yeah, 85% he is re-signing. This is probably like August 1, even July 1, August into September, it's like 85%. And then you hear that whole 8 by 16.
Right. Gets turned down.
Turned down.
You go, what?
But like, even going back, Billy never said it got turned down. He never said, no, they didn't want this deal. Agent never said that. What they said is, we don't know where anybody's hearing this. So it was never said, yes, it was turned down or he didn't turn it down. Now that kind of makes a little bit of sense, right? But when that came out, it was like, wow, things have changed. Now I was like 60-40 he signs.
Just the time you spend around Kaprizov last couple of years, it just he doesn't feel like a high maintenance type of guy to me. He doesn't feel like a prima donna at all. He's very genuine. You could see the smile on his face when he's at the rink. Let's remember, he was here 10 days before he needed to be here, skating with his teammates. If he was that, rattled or upset with the organization or thinking about being elsewhere, why would he come skate early with the team at the captain's practices? Like, he could have stayed up until day one when he had to be on the ice. And I just think, like, when you look at him, like, he's focused on hockey, he's focused on winning. He doesn't want the distractions. He doesn't seem like the type of guy that wanted to be asked about this every day throughout the year. I don't think the money, easy for me to say, but like, I think when it ultimately came down to it, like, had this drug on, I could see him nudging his agent under the table to be like, dude, let's get this done. I want to play hockey. Just my read on the situation. So
it was becoming a distraction.
Yeah, and he's not that type of kid. Yeah. Like, I don't get that sense.
I don't think he wants all that attention.
Right.
The whole league was talking about
it.
And I don't think he
and the
likes
whole hockey
attention.
world went, he turned down the biggest contract ever? Like, what? Like, I was getting texts from people like, what?
Yeah, and then the narrative becomes like,
yeah,
who does he
he
think
doesn't
he
want to
is?
be here, So I don't think that's him. That's not the vibe I get. So nice to be around, so friendly, loves hockey, loves this area. I think it's just really cool for it to work out the way that it did now, and that he's here. You get him for his prime. Let's go win a cup.
You know what I love about it too? Think about it. Put yourself in his shoes for a minute, Kinger. You've got 8x16 on the table, and you're kind of like, we'll just wait.
Yeah.
How do you do anything but think about that? And he
I
could
just
still
left
go out
that
and
room
play.
and-
he'd
yeah.
still go out and play. Like, how do you think about that?
I have so much to unpack here. The quote to go at what Radio Joe was saying when he's being interviewed in the press conference, and one of the reporters says, "Are you going to do anything to celebrate the deal?" And he says, "What?" And he says, "Like, buy a boat," was what the guy said, and he just goes, "Buy a boat? What? No. You know who I am? What are you talking about? Like, I might get new laces for my skates, but a couple things, just random stuff. Also, anybody who doesn't like to call Minnesota mini, I'm sorry, but Kirill does it all the time. I'm pro mini, so that's
You are?
Yeah, I am.
Have you been, or you are now?
I always am. I think there's no. What's the problem?
I don't know. Why do
What are we
people get
upset
so
about
upset?
with this?
I
No,
learned
like,
this
so-
very early on after
like
moving
they
here.
say, people that aren't from here call it that, but get over it. It's cool. Kirill does it. Also, like, a great pink eye moment. I mean, since Bob Costas did the Olympics with pink eye, like, can you imagine you just signed this deal and you're just rocking pink eye?
Was it confirmed that it was pink eye? I know we
I don't think
called
it's
it an
pink
eye
eye.
infection,
Did you see?
I think it was a sty.
It was pink eye.
but I felt terrible for him.
Okay, sorry, Kirill. I'm not putting any
Like,
propaganda.
he should have waited 3 more days
was
to
a
sign
sty.
it, just so that for the, that's the biggest media availability of his life, probably.
I don't know. Maybe it wasn't pink eye. I'm sorry if
AI
it wasn't.
fix
but
that.
I just love that. And then, do you think the waiting? So the reason it was so
They waited
troubling for
the sty?
for for the Minnesota sports fan, the reason this was troubling was it wasn't about. It was Jenga, right? This is the piece that makes it all fall down. So whatever we've been doing for the last 4 years, if you lose this piece, it doesn't mean it couldn't work or they couldn't figure something out, but it was about the belief. And I wonder, to your point, I don't know if it was a deal terms, details, signing bonus, or if there was a little bit of like, let's put their feet to the fire a little bit and make it real clear that if we do not win a cup, no one's going to be happy here. Which Billy would say that just as much as Kirill. But I go back to when he got the A, man, a few words, right? Kirill just says, I think we all know why we're here. That's what he said in the locker room. And it's like, but do we? He does, and I think that culture has shifted with Billy It's about winning. So I was just so happy to see that get done. I also heard the reason it didn't get done was they went to an inn and there was no room, and then they had to find a manger a couple days later. That could be tied to it as well.
I love when you have your random thoughts. I get very excited for them because I never know which way they're going to go.
I just think I just was texting everybody that day. It's a good day in the state of hockey.
Yeah.
It felt like a monkey was off our back, and I've just felt from marketing to everything, ticket sales, I'm sure broadcast, it was like now everything's like twice as fast. Not that everyone was doing nothing, but it was sort of like everyone was in purgatory.
Yeah.
And it's just like
Flip the switch.
All gas, no brakes.
We talked about training camp. I want your read on training camp too.
No idea.
Joe.
Myself.
Yeah, it's like, what was it?
Didn't even know that
It was a blur.
Did it happen?
Last year we talked about how hard they worked and Hines was pushing them and crushing
And
them.
how
and
important
they
the
gotta get
start
off to a
is.
good start. And now, like, all of a sudden, I'm like, man, the regular season's here. I know there was like roster battles, the young kids, right? But that was pretty much the camp storyline was.
It's like, what else was there?
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know.
Hines said it was harder than last
Yeah.
year. I did see that. I was
Yeah.
like, oh, noted.
I thought that was interesting.
But
as well.
I have no idea. It just felt like the Kirill cloud was hanging over the camp, and I don't really know
So
what happened.
I want this is the podcast of the people, and I feel like you played here, you played in the NHL,
Stanley
so you have
Cup
an
champ.
interesting dynamic to this. You, I feel like, King, are like
Don't bother. Just go forward.
you're the voice of the people.
I got demons.
So what was like had he not resigned or had he walked away? Like what were you hearing from your peeps when that when the reports came out and there was sort of that 2-3 week window where like you're not sure what's going on? Had he left or not re-signed, like would the fan base have crumbled? Like where?
I don't know. So there was emotional terrorism happening on the internet. So there was a lot of like, who can sign him for $9 million for a year?
Yeah.
Carolina kept popping into my feed.
I'm like, why would he go to
It would have
Carolina?
been death by a million paper cuts.
Yeah, there was this
Throughout the
trade.
year, just a little paper cut.
Yeah,
trade
every
for
day.
Rumor here,
Yeah.
rumor there.
Martinikas was going to come to the Wild. Like Gabrick flashbacks from ages ago. We're going to get nothing. Minneapolis is Indianapolis, flyover state. Like there was, I don't know. It would have been a significant setback for me. I would say fetal position. I probably wouldn't have. They would have like cut me from this podcast because I would have been so bad. But I didn't hear like a bunch of fans saying like, if this doesn't get done, I'm out. But there was a lot of stress and anxiety about it because it felt like. That's why I say the feeling for the fans is he chose to be here.
Yeah.
He's buying into Billy's plan. And he seems a lot more like a Minnesotan than the classic Russian portrayal of NHL stars that only believe there's, 3 cities in America,
Right.
New York,
LA.
and Chicago, right? So it was sort of like this guy maybe is from Roseau or what's going on here. So, I think it was a big deal. And a lot of other pieces come into place around it.
Yeah. If you're looking at winning a Stanley Cup, it's hard to envision the Wild winning a Stanley Cup in the next handful of years without Kirill Kaprizov, right?
Yeah.
So no matter what you had to pay him, you almost have to pay him because it's the only viable path to a potential championship. Without him, there seems to be no path.
It's like square one.
Yeah, there was no path. So the first domino that had to fall would be Kirill. So if they didn't get him, you could understand why fans are like, man, here we go. Like we went through the buyout and all this other stuff.
Spun
to
our
get to here
wheels
today.
yeah.
And then all of a sudden, boom,
All for nothing.
the car broke down. This thing's a junker, and not that obviously I'm talking.
No, but I mean, Bill
generally.
Guerin.
There's still good pieces like Boldy, Faber, Bouillon. There's obviously great players.
Yeah,
It's
but
just
Bill Guerin said when he was asked, like, if this didn't get done, would it have set you guys back? And he said yes.
how could it not?
I mean, so he's about as honest as it gets normally from a GM standpoint.
yeah, like how could it not?
Head of the snake had to happen, or you're really it's complicated.
You guys have 8 years now to get him on the pod. That's the way I looked at it.
But
Let me know how that goes.
now and
Jeez,
why I
coming
think
in
He's getting there with the media. That was his best media availability. Now, granted, he had just put 136 million into his bank account over time, but that was the best he's done with his English, with answering questions, with staying with longer questions. Remember, early on, post translator, it was like keep your question very simple. if he can kind of like read your lips, he understands it better, like slow it down, keep it simple. Now it's like, you know, you can ask him pretty much anything and he'll give you his best, you know. He's not a cliche machine.
No. And we have it on good authority that he says he's ready to come onto the podcast.
That's what I thought. I heard that too walking in here today. I thought it was going to be him, and then it was just me as the guest. Just a last second flip there.
Yeah.
No big deal. Ratings will be the same.
But you think about it from Kirill's perspective too, like it is a big decision. And maybe
Huge.
To the point I made earlier, or what would you do if you're staring at 8x17? How would it be possible to do anything but go out and think about that until it's done, right? Maybe in his mind, like he knows he's going to get the money and it's not about that, which is actually super exciting. But you think about what that is, that's a marriage. He married Minnesota and the Minnesota Wild through the duration of his playing life.
And he's not a kid. I know you call him a kid. He's 28 years old.
Yeah.
Well, but like
that's the X factor here. I mean, this guy, he said it in the press conference. Maybe there's one more sunset deal after this, but this is his entree. This is it.
Yeah. This is the marriage. Like the unique part about sports is you can't beat Father Time. Like your window to work is small. Right, so you have to be very careful with where you commit your time, and signing an 8-year deal, like that's a full blown marriage throughout his professional life.
Yep, this is it.
This is it, right? And you're like, I'm married to this, you know, organization, to this GM, to this spot, to this everything throughout my time. And if winning's the most important thing to me, like, and if it was to Kirill, you could see why you're like, man, this actually becomes a really hard decision because I won't be able to go anywhere else, you know?
Yeah, and I give the organization full credit. I mean, it was risky, if I'm being honest. Last year when Craig Leopold said nobody's going to pay him any more money, like, you're putting it out there. We're keeping this guy. And from a GM perspective, like, we're keeping this guy. Like, now it's on the team, the rest of the pieces, the guys in the room, whoever comes in the next couple of years, like, to continue to build this thing in the right direction. And I love the fact that Kaprizov wants to win, and, like, that was a sticking point for him. Like, what are we doing to win? How are we going to take the next step? We're close last year, but it felt like, you know, this team's been close before to getting over that hump. There's multiple hurdles. It's not like they went to the Stanley Cup final and lost, and it's like, all right, well, we're close. Like, there are multiple hurdles still to get through.
I
just hope that, you know, this is the piece now, like the first big domino. Like, now you're like, okay, the goal is still the elusive cup. We've got to build to get there, and with him being here long term, I just think it speaks volumes on both sides, the player and the organization, to say, we're committed to getting over those humps and getting where we want to be into June.
And it validates, Kirill signing validates Minnesota and Minnesota, much like Preseason and Suter did back in the day. Yeah. Like, those were like, okay, they want to win. This validates Craig Leopold as an owner that wants to win, that's willing to spend to win. And to your point, I think that's exciting too. But when Craig initially said that, what was your interpretation of nobody will give him more money than me?
The only thing I can think of is you can't take that back.
Well, yeah, but how did you interpret that?
You now have to offer a huge contract, and, you know, if there were other bidders, like, say it got to July 1, like, and it feels like one of those, like, you know, like an auction, right? Like, $15 million from the Rangers. Okay, we're at $16 million. Like, you just got to keep going up, right? Essentially, and if you don't ultimately get it done, at least you've shown the fan base. I said I was going to offer him the biggest contract ever, basically. You know, paraphrasing, but they did.
I interpreted it as a cagey comment, meaning we are the only team that can offer him an 8-year deal. Yeah. And nobody's going to be able to give him, you know, $2 million more on an AA. It'd have to be like 2.25 or 2.5 million more on an AAV level to surpass the total dollar amount
that we'll give him. Yeah.
That's what was meant by that.
Yeah.
And it got taken out of context. And all of a sudden the AAV went, Speaking of, what different players, this is how it goes, just so everybody knows. It's amazing. Somebody can offer Kirill 8x16 and it doesn't happen for a week and they go 8x17. You go a full $1 million higher. There are guys where you can be at like 900 grand. You're like, can I get 925? No, absolutely not.
Nope. No, we're actually moving on.
I'd be like,
we just
can I
signed
get
Ryan
20
Carter instead.
Can I get 25 more grand?
They're like 875.
Just to cover my agent's fees? Absolutely not. We are
That's
tapped.
it. That's the limit right there.
It's so great. It makes sense. The players are worth it, but it's like, are you kidding?
5 years ago, would you ever imagine he'd be the highest paid player in NHL history?
No. 5 years ago, I was like, you didn't have to give a guy with 50 games played $5 by $9 million. No, I wouldn't have thought that. I was like, you didn't have to do that. But to the point I made before, he's worth every dollar because without him there, I don't think you can see a Stanley Cup coming to Minnesota. So he's worth every dollar.
Yep. The pen. I don't even know the story.
All right.
So
what was that about?
All right, so here's the story. We have a podcast in Billy's basement, and we want to have the pen that Kirill signs with as a piece of memorabilia for the podcast. So conjure up a little puck, drill a hole in it, and go to Office Max and buy the nicest pen you can possibly buy to put in there, thinking that like if you're going to sign for a huge sum of money,
Gotta be a nice pen.
It's got to be a nice pen. And we get it out, we test it, everything. We hand it to Billy. Billy's a man of the people. This is the best part about Billy too.
He didn't understand what it was for.
He didn't understand what it was for, but Billy is a man of the people. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, he's going to take care of you. You know, if you ask something of him, he's going to respond, and he's going to do his best to help you, right? So sure enough, it's the biggest day, and a day I'm sure he's been waiting for how many months?
I mean, at least since July 1 when it became official, they could re-sign him, right? So we're at least 3 months of anxiety, and we got to get this thing done.
And I don't know the details of where it was done yet, but I have an inclination now. So the goal for this puck and this pen was to be on Billy's desk, thinking that this contract is going to be signed in like
the office.
In a setting. This is going to be documented. There's going to be a camera. Like, there's more to this one. So it'll be easy to just grab this pen and sign that deal. And it will look good because it was a Minnesota Wild puck, a fancy pen. Like, it will all come together. Well, I'm not sure it went like that. I don't have the details yet. But so it gets announced like 9 o'clock in the morning that Kirill signs. And at like 10, I'm in the podcast studio here, and Billy walks up. And I'm sitting in the chair right here, and he starts hollering, "Cards, where's cards? Cards." And I'm like, what?
You're fired.
And he walks in.
We need the salary space.
And he walks in with this. So this is how
You drilled the hole?
I drilled the hole in the initial
Proud
puck.
of you.
So for the listeners, it's just a Minnesota Wild puck. I drilled like a hole with like a 3/8 inch bit or something like that, and stuck a pen in there at an angle so it looked kind of fancy.
Looks awesome.
Humble brag. That you went Ryan Hartman. You rolled up
Gave
your
us a
sleeves
drill
and
bit
did
size.
Yeah. And it so it fits in there nicely.
Yeah, it looks good.
Yeah. And
Wait, that pen says Hyatt Regency.
hold on. So Billy comes in.
Oh, no.
And he goes, so this is like an hour after it's announced. He comes in, he goes, I forgot the pen. I forgot the pen, but I remembered. So he went downstairs, he grabbed a puck. He had like the assistant general manager, Matt Sells, drill a hole in it.
With
and then
what?
Run across town, get the pen that Kirill signed the deal with.
Brought it
and
back?
Stick it in here. And he made his own version of
So
the
that's
pen.
not the one you
where's the
drilled.
original?
This isn't the one that I made.
Is that a tracker puck? These are expensive.
That's not the one I made. But Billy remembered and cared so much that he put it all together and made
did I
us
just
one
touch the-
on the
this is
day.
it?
That's it. So that pen
I shouldn't have.
inked 136.
That's
Is that like the Stanley Cup? You're not supposed to touch it until you win it?
No, don't put your body oils on
I
that
just
thing.
touched
That's
it.
gonna
I'm
go-
sorry.
Well, it's a lot like
go
the
in the
Stanley
Smithsonian.
Cup because now that we have a replica, there's actually two
Yeah,
of
the real
these
one.
going around.
Yeah.
So if someone wanted to spend a day with it, they could have the other one or this one. Now, the thing with the podcast, it is an accurate statement to tell Kirill he would not have signed his deal if it wasn't for us. Because, you know,
He owes it to you guys.
what do we know? Does Billy have a pen? He might not have access to any pens at all. Maybe he wasn't even thinking about
Clearly,
the
he
deal.
stayed at a Hyatt recently.
Well, so that's what I'm thinking happened. Is that it happened at like a hotel.
Sponsorship opportunity, people. Let's go.
How much did your pen cost when you bought it? off?
$26.50.
No, it was like $50.
Oh, you spent
You got a $50 pen?
Yes.
That's great.
If you're signing for
keep that
$136 million, wouldn't you think it's worthy of a $50
better
pen? Like
turn
that's
that
nothing.
receipt in at
That's
the end of the month.
Insignificant.
This is nice. This is light.
That's insignificant. $136 million inked by that pen. And my favorite part about it all is not that we got the pen, that's exciting. It's that how cool Billy is for going through all those steps to make sure that he
and yelling
delivered.
for you down the hall.
He has the biggest day of his professional GM life signing Kirill. And he's worried about getting wild on 7th this puck with
Crossing
the
T's, dotting I's.
What a dude.
Man of the people.
What a dude. But now we do have the pen.
It's a great story.
Now we do have the pen.
That's a
pretty
step
sweet.
in the right direction.
And that is a pretty sweet piece of memorabilia. Like at some point, this is going to be in the ice arena,
In a glass box.
in the glass box,
Next to the cup.
like 75 years from now, wherever the Minnesota Wild are playing, right?
Yeah.
That's going to be there.
It's a heirloom.
It is.
Just real quick. I
That's
just
set
have
record.
One more random thought. Did Kevin Weeks break the news?
His forehead did.
Yeah. I thought I saw that just ahead of our guy Russo, and I haven't said anything to Russo
Oh,
yet. He
no.
had to be rattled.
Well, so
Oh, no.
if I'm reading those tea leaves too, Billy is a man of the people, like Kevin Weeks, or
Yeah.
I don't know how it happened, but I think they played together once upon a time and threw his buddy a bone. It's done, right? And then Weeks got out
It
there.
is typical hilarious.
So you
video
noticed
where
that
it's
Weeks
just a
broke it too?
Uh-huh.
His forehead did, I mean?
Yeah, I did.
If anybody doesn't know what I'm talking
And
about.
then I went
Kevin
right
Weeks,
to Russo's Twitter.
Was he holding his phone in a bad angle?
No, he does this. This is his bit, I think. Don't you think this is his
It
bit?
is, yeah.
Yeah. So he's
Just his forehead and like the tops of his
Yeah.
eyeballs.
He's turning into a great little NHL insider, and you can just see like the tops of his eyeballs, his forehead, and then just everything else behind him.
Yeah.
And he says breaking.
Yeah.
He tells whatever is breaking.
Yeah.
I think it's a great bit.
It is a great bit. I think I saw first somebody quote tweeted the Wild account with the 97th Street. And then I immediately was like, okay, we would not have posted this if it wasn't done. And I texted Gorg right away to be like, and he was like, what? And I'm like, check out the Wild Twitter. And then I started like search the Russos of the world. But I'm pretty sure Weeks had it first.
Yeah, he was out first. There's no question.
And
I think that's.
I feel bad for Michael. He puts in a lot of work. This was kind of his big fish.
That's a tough one.
I haven't busted his you-know-what about it yet, and I might wait for an appropriate time to do so.
That's
I feel like you're kind of doing it right now.
I might be. I know at some point he's going to
you're
listen to
breaking-
this, and he's going to be like,
Yeah.
that Mariano.
You're breaking that.
I'll have to talk to
news.
him today.
You're breaking that news right now.
I'm going to get out in front of this today.
like it. That's good. Well, let's since we're on it, let's talk about the next one, GusBus signing. This one kind of flew under the radar. It's amazing how little was talked about, like Gustavsson being a pending UFA. Was he a UFA or RFA? I'd have to look. But
I'm not sure.
either way,
I will
free
give
agent.
Russo credit on that one. He was the one saying for a few weeks now that this is something the two sides are working to get done quickly.
yeah,
And, you see the number, and then you look at other goalies that have signed recently, and it's right there. It seems very fair for both sides.
yeah, it's a good deal. I think it's a good deal for both.
5 years, 34, 6.8 AAV.
And 6.8 seems expensive only because other guys were signing. Not that it seems expensive. But I don't want to say that the wrong way. It's a nice raise,
Goalies are getting paid. That was not the case
But I think
even recently.
I think that number is 6.8. I bet you his number is probably 5.5 and 1.3 is the cap going up.
Right.
You know what I mean?
You factor that in.
Yeah, that's where things are going now. Like everybody's contract seems inflated, but every agent knows the salary cap is going up, and each deal is beyond that. But what does that say about Gustavsson, in your opinion, going forward?
I mean, he's got the keys to the kingdom. The last couple years it was him needing to prove himself, and then it was Fleury, pushing for starts, and Volstead here last year, which puts him, I think, heat on the whole goaltending room because there were three goalies. Now there's none of that. Like, I fully expect, and we'll get into it a little bit later, I fully expect Gustafsson to start 60 games this year if he's healthy. And with that comes the responsibility of being one of the top goalies in the league. 2 of the last 3 years, he's done that. The year in between, I'm hoping, was an aberration, an anomaly. And when we get the GusBus that we've seen calm and leadership back there. Not vocal leadership, not flower type leadership and personality, but just steadying presence every night that he's out there. You know, you got a chance to win.
What gives me comfort in that deal, did you see the social bit where Billy must have gone into the locker room in Chicago? This is day of preseason game. That was Chicago, right? And
Friday night was Chicago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's when the deal was announced, right? So I think
it was Saturday morning, maybe.
Was that when it was announced?
I think so.
So I'm going to go back and look at it, but I think that it was day of game that he signed that in Chicago. And that's intriguing. He goes out and plays a good game. Gus, with this last deal, I think when he broke into the NHL, it's different. Like Brian Burke called it fat cat syndrome, where you're fighting for a spot, you finally get rewarded with something, and you settle a little bit, and it takes a player a little while to realize it's like that hunger and that edge that actually makes you good, and you've got to refine it sometimes. It took him maybe a half a period to refine that in this preseason game, if that happened this way this time.
Yeah.
So he's a pro now. And I think Billy talks about that when he talks about Gustavsson, is that he's taken a step where there were times where maybe he would need a break, or he didn't want the net, or against a tough opponent, something squirrely would happen.
Well, a couple of years ago when he came to camp, I think they were a little underwhelmed with, his fitness and his preparation. And to your point, I feel like a lot of that has changed. I don't hear that anymore.
He's a pro. Mentally, he's a pro. He wants the net. He wants to play against the best. He wants to prove to everybody he's good. And I think that's a big reason Billy's comfortable being like, yeah, this is our guy. And to your point, and I was making it too, he's going to see more net than he's ever seen before. He's ready for it. Wants it.
Yeah.
He's proven it. How are you feeling about the GusBus moving forward?
I like it. I just did my fantasy hockey draft last night, and there's a lot of tandems still. You're lucky if you have the 60-game guy.
Yeah.
It's a different animal. If you have your guy, you always used to say, Carts, if you have two goalies, you don't have one. So I think having a guy, a true number one, a 60-start guy, assuming he stays healthy, is worth the money, and he's been good. I also like, kind of like Kirill, having a little different personality. Gus is not a normal goalie. I mean, he's funny, he's fun, howdy boys, right? He'll come on a podcast, he'll talk. So I think he's a good energy around the team. I think they can rally around him, and I think he'll be a good teacher for Volstead as well.
How about that, though? The league, it's funny how it's a copycat league, but then it goes sometimes goes back to what it was before, too. Like, it was a one-goalie league for a long time. And then teams started to try this two-goalie thing. A lot of teams did it. Now it's back to give me my number one.
Yeah.
It's kind of come full circle, don't you think?
I mean, to your point, growing up in the 90s, Wabert or Luongo, Hasek, you go right down the list. Like, those guys were playing every night.
Yeah.
And you didn't even know the names of their backups most times.
Right.
No offense, Kevin Weeks. And now you look at Hellebuck, Shesterkin, Ottinger. I think Dustin Wolf's going to be that guy in Calgary. Gustafsson here, where, almost every night, unless it's a back-to-back or somebody's a little banged up, you're pretty much expecting that guy. Bennington, maybe that's not even, I think Hofer might push for time in St. Louis this year. So it'll be interesting to see how each team handles it. But I think you're right. There's going to be a handful of guys, 55 to 60 games this year. And I'd have to look back numbers recent seasons to see how often that happens. But it feels like teams that have their number one, and if you're paying a guy now 7, 8, in Shesterkin's case, what was it, $9 million? You're paying these goalies big bucks. You better be getting 60 starts from them.
Yeah, so when Flower was setting records, and we were talking about that last year, 2 years ago, I can remember saying that I don't think any of these records will ever be touched again, because goalies aren't playing 70 games like Brodeur used to play. Like, none of these records, wins, games played, will ever be touched again. And that was because it was turning into a two-goalie league, like where they were going, 45 and 40 games, or 38, or maybe 50 and 32 is kind of what teams were doing. I think it's starting to change again. But Kinger, real quick, what's new over with our friends at Cub Foods?
Well, it's cold today. The seasons are changing. We got some bonus time on the pontoon, which was great, but we're into fall now. If you took a step outside to let your dog out this morning, you felt it. So head over to Cub, get the chips, get the dips, get the beans, get some stuff for the grill, get that smoke rising above your grill. And they do have liquor stores on some of them. They do deliver. They're one of us, just like Kirill, Cub Foods, your neighborhood grocery store. And how about you?
I noticed that fall was rolling in too. I was like, it's crazy. It went 90 degrees,
Dude.
and then all of a sudden,
48 this morning in my car.
last night sitting outside at the soccer game, I even put a jacket on, thinking it's probably colder than I think, and I was freezing cold last night. So it's officially furnace season. Like, it went right from AC to furnace. So you're going to want to make sure that your furnace at home is tuned up. Right now, our friends at Aquarius Home Services are offering a furnace tune-up for only $29. You don't want to go into winter thinking or insecure or having your furnace not be up to snuff. So whether you need some energy efficient solutions, some air purification things with your furnace, whatever it is, humidifiers, Aquarius Home Services, they do it all. They can install it all. They manage it all. Give them a look, aquariushomeservices.com. Check them out. $29 for a furnace tune-up. You can't beat that, Kinger.
That's the flurry discount.
That's the flurry discount. The snow is flying. Yeah. Earning the right to be recommended. Now I'll just roll into the next one. Wild Construction, our buddies. Again, winter is here. So if you had ice dams last year, you might have some inefficient roofing insulation and maybe some air is leaking outside of there. You also maybe were in an area that had some storms this year, and there was some damage up top to whether it be your gutters or the roof itself, maybe your siding. There's still a little bit of time for somebody to get up on your roof and check that. The damage can last up to 12 months. Go to their website, wildconstruction.com. They've got the resources you need to find out if the storm was in your area. And keep in mind, though, that it does take up to 12 months for the damage to show up. So if the snow does fly, somebody can't get up there, schedule an appointment. They'll put you on the books for spring to get you looked at. But right now, they certainly can do more exterior work. So if that's your siding, your windows, anything that needs to be replaced, give them a call, wildconstruction.com. And that's what we've got, fellas. So, hey, pretty good.
Nailed it. I liked how you transitioned out of fall. I would have liked to see you stick on fall with Wild Construction, but it's something to work on. Like, have the whole thing be a motif.
Just,
like, hey, okay,
Yeah.
like he set the
With
stage
fall,
with fall. What
winter
can I do
means
with
it's
fall?
next.
Yeah.
Winter
Okay.
is coming.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, just there's room for improvement.
I like it. Should we get into bold predictions, or like, actually, I think a good place to start is going to be what we think the state of the team is right now, like how we're feeling. So let's do like a season primer in general right now for the Minnesota Wild.
Well, I think, Carter, you were talking about momentum on special teams heading into the season. And the way the preseason finished with the power play is a handful. You know, I really enjoy watching Booyam. Even if he falls down at the blue line, he somehow like swings the puck over his shoulder and someone gets a breakaway. And then getting the kills as well, right? So I think that has been very promising. The guys that are scoring are your big guys too, right? You're getting, Boldy spinoramas and Kirill scoring goals and Foligno shorthanded. And it feels like I think they should be feeling really good coming into the season. They get a little break here before Thursday and then Saturday. We got St. Louis on the road and then Columbus at home. So it's great. And then I think we can get into cuts, right? The Ogren, some people got sent down, put on waivers. Some people are sticking. I think Hunter Haight had a really nice camp. I really liked watching him play. Great hair on the young buck, but he gets sent back down to Iowa. Ogren sticks, Urov sticks. So those are the unknowns. We'll get into that and bold predictions, I'm sure. But
Hunter Haight, he earned himself first call up. I think that's what he did. He had a good training camp. If something happens up front, I think he proved he can play the middle, can play the wing, can play the bottom six, and might be able to spot in top six. So I think he was able to show how he can be a Swiss Army knife and use a lot of spots and be productive for him. So I think he did have a good camp.
I thought he would have stayed. I was kind of surprised. He flashed a lot. I'm a fan, right? So I don't watch the game exactly like a coach or a scout, but I just thought, I don't know. He just seemed like putting that young guy in the locker room. There was something about him. He got 20 in Iowa last year. So I kind of was like, I don't know, man. I didn't think he was going to be driving down 35, but hopefully he's driving right back if we need him.
Yeah, I think he'll be right there, one of the first call-ups, if not the first call-up. The 20 goals last year in the American League, really impressive. It's my understanding the team after the final preseason game had a little team building Saturday.
Wiffle ball or something.
Wiffle ball. Spent some time on the lake, had great weather for it, I'm sure. Nice big dinner. Yesterday, I'm guessing just a day of rest and recovery. Back on the ice here now today. And I just like that vibe of it all. I like the way the preseason eventually shook out where you're done on a Friday. You don't start again till Thursday. More time for Brodin to be on the mend. A couple of good days of practice here to fine-tune some things and touch up on the system play. And the vibe or the sense I got is that, like, the team, like, including those last few cuts, they were all part of this team building. So it's kind of like you guys earn the right to be here this long. We keep you around for one more day with the guys because at some point we're going to need you, Kierstead. We're going to need you, Hunter Haight. Those two guys were basically some of the last guys to get sent down. So Calvin Peterson, the quote unquote third goalie. So I think the team's in a good spot. Do you want me to go more than just the Haight thing and broader picture here, primer? Or?
Yeah, so let's just look at it. I'm thinking the team. Like, what are the strengths? Yeah. Obviously, you've got your top line, and Kaprizov and Boldy, if they're playing together, you've loaded up your top line. That's a strength. They're going to be good, and they're going to be a handful. Yep. Now, how are you feeling about your second line, right? And I
think it's up in the air still.
Yeah, but let's go through hypotheticals. Who do you think it is? Is it Yurov and Tarasenko with Eriksson Ek?
I think to start it is because I liked what I saw them in the preseason. I will say going in, so like if we did this a month ago, I was like excited guy because of Yurov, Ogren, Buyam, Jiricek, and Volstead, right? Those 5 young players. I'm like, when was the last time the Wild had 5 high-end picks, 5 really young guys, like asked to not just maybe make the team, but contribute? I don't know. Maybe it's more recent than I remember, but it feels like this is an exciting time. And then, like, as camp and the preseason was unfolding, those guys weren't really popping much, right? Buyam had a rough game. Ogren didn't have a point. Yurov didn't score. And I'm starting to go like, uh-oh. Like, I would have liked to see, like, more impact from them. And I think I've settled down now, realized it's the preseason. It's a good learning experience for these guys. Will they have to learn a little bit trial by fire? Probably. But I just like the core group. I like the veterans. And if you remember last year to start the year, this is one of the best teams in hockey. And 95% of that group is back. So I think I think I've kind of teetered from my excitement of the young kids to like, maybe they're not ready, to somewhere in between. I'm more anxious to see how this plays out early. I think their defense is going to be really solid. I love reclaiming Damon Hunt on waivers. I know it's a depth piece, but I really like that kid. I think that the surface hasn't been scratched with his potential. So I think the blue line is pretty deep, especially when Brodin is healthy and ready to go. So I like a lot about what they have, and I think, again, it's the importance of a good start. There's 12 games in October. The schedule isn't easy, but we saw last year when they started 7-1-2, it set the table for a really good year.
Yeah, and it's interesting. I think
I called it last year, by the way, in bold predictions.
Okay. But I think last year everybody understood how important the start was.
Yeah,
I just it is equally important this year. You think about last year's start; they don't make the playoffs without that start.
Yeah,
I mean you can get hypothetical everything, but I don't know that there's been as big an emphasis on the start. So it'd be interesting to see how they start.
Right,
but you're rolling out if your second line is Yurov and Tarasenko. Those are positions that you have to rely upon. There's pressure on those people to produce, and that's a tough spot to put a young guy in. And I don't know how the minutes will be deployed, because then what do you think the third line is? Johansson, Hartman, Ogren?
No, I think Foligno will be up there.
You think so?
Yeah.
And you don't think it will be Foligno, Sturm, Trenyan?
No, honestly, if this isn't a bold prediction per se, but again, I'll touch on it more later. Like, I think Vinny Hinostroza plays Thursday night.
Opening?
Yeah. I just think the coaches like him. I like him. He's always impactful.
I don't know how you can't like him.
Dude, every time he's on the ice, he buzzes. I would have Hinostroza in their opening night. If you have to sit an Ogren for a game or two, I don't. Again, that's just my opinion on the situation, but I think Vinny Hinostroza is a guy that I want out there until he proves otherwise.
I almost put Vinny Hinostroza in there over a guy like Urov in the second line spot.
Or do you move JoJo up, with...
And those are the things that I think are going to be fluid.
Yeah.
So to start the season, where last year I think things were a little more solid,
Yep.
I think it's a lot more fluid this year. And depending on how the first couple of games go, it could set the tempo for the rest of the year. So I find the start to be critical for everybody. And to get off to a good start so that they can just settle in and play, because there are what could be a lot of potential moving pieces up front.
How much pressure is on this team, do you think, start of the year? Now that Kaprizov is signed and there are no distractions and your goaltender's locked up, and it's sort of like, okay, we keep talking about getting over the hump of the first round. Well, first you got to get in. Do you think that there's like more pressure now to say, okay, we've had enough of this sort of treading water, meaning like you won't give a guy 5 games to figure it out. You won't, if things aren't going well early in the season, is there a move to be made? I'm of the mindset that yes, there's going to be a shorter leash for guys that aren't performing. And if this isn't up to snuff early, I think Billy G is going to pull the trigger on a move.
I think that's the case with veteran guys that they know well. I don't think that that's going to be the case with the young guys.
Really?
Yeah.
So you think if Urov and Ogren play their first 6-8 games and haven't done much, that's going to just...
They might go to the fourth line. I don't think it's going to be your out of the lineup back to Iowa. I don't think it's going to be like a heavy hand.
I see it differently than that. I really do, because I think that, from everything, Bill Guerin said, this is not like you don't want to develop guys in the NHL. You want them to be ready when they get here. And so if they prove they're not ready early, I really think they're going to make moves. I know they don't have a whole lot of moves to make with Zuccarello hurt. And are you bringing up Hunter Haight, or are you bringing up Tyler Pitlick? Like, I don't have those answers, but I don't know. I just feel like this is the year where there's some pressure to take the next step, and waiting around till Christmas as guys kind of find their way. I don't know that's the way to get it done in what's a very tough division and conference again.
Yeah, I agree. I think there's pressure. I think it's different. I think Kirill signing the deal he signed
buys you a little bit of time.
No, I think that puts immense amount of pressure on him. Pressure that he's probably never had before. I don't think it's going to affect him. I don't. But you think about it. You're now the highest paid player in the league. You have to produce like it, and he always has.
Yeah.
But now there's that pressure, right? Now here's where I think it's different. I asked Hines earlier this year, or in training camp, if Boldy's ready to have his line. So it's always Kaprizov's line. He's always been on Kaprizov's line or X line, right? It's never been Boldy's line. And now he's still, I think he's graduated to where it can be Boldy's line. So now you have Kirill and Boldy's line. Like, that's how you're talking about it. I think at some point that's going to have to be broken up. So Kirill's going to have to produce without Boldy, and Boldy's going to have to produce without Kirill. And I think that's where pressure is going to start to come. Like, are we going to be able to do this? Or are they going to be able to do that 5-on-5 on the power play to what you saw, Kinger, on Friday? Yeah, that's going to be great.
Oh, yeah.
Can they carry that into a 5-on-5 game? Because their scoring last year wasn't great. And Kaprizov was hurt and Eck was hurt, but I think they had 225. That was like 25th in the NHL. I have to look that up to be exact.
They were 20th.
20th in the NHL? Yeah. So it could be better. And if you're a playoff team, it needs to be better than that, right? So I think there's pressure on these guys to individually produce, and then with that, yes, win.
Wes Walls the other night said the same thing to me about, separating Boldy and Kaprizov. It just makes you harder to check. Right, you're on the road in St. Louis on Thursday night, and now St. Louis is focused on checking one line, right? Whereas if they're split up, you have a little bit more to think about if you're the opposition. Maybe I know they like Ryan Hartman at center, but we saw how Hartman could play with Zuccarello and Kaprizov not that long ago. Maybe like if Boldy drops down to split up Kaprizov and Boldy, maybe Hartman slides up on the right side there with Rossi and Kaprizov. I don't think that'll happen early, but Hartman's versatility there gives you a guy that can play that style, can play with top end guys, or can slide down the lineup.
I dig it. So before we move on to bold predictions, let's just touch on the D. Kinger, you're obviously excited about Booyam. How do you feel about the D-core as a whole?
I think our D-core is unbelievable. I think we have so much depth.
Better than last year?
Yes. The only one I'm not sure on Juracek yet. I think he's a project. He's an interesting player because he's so big, but he almost plays like he wishes he was a forward. He spends a lot of time below the dots in the offensive zone. He's got the big shot. He's very young. But that's a lot of capital we gave to get him. So I don't know what he is. Like with Zeev's just like a half-second adjustment to the NHL speed, but he has so many, like 4-on-4 overtime with this team. Are you kidding me?
I know it's going to be fun.
Like popcorn.
3-on-3. No, he means 4-on-4 hockey as well, though. Right?
Yeah. It was 4-on-4 in that Chicago game.
Yeah,
and I was
they
just
were
like,
buzzing. Yeah.
Is there popcorn in the middle right now? Like, let's get butter in the middle and on top. Like, it was unbelievable. And with that many guys that can open their hips and skate the way we can skate, I also really enjoyed seeing. There was a group of 5 with Rossi, Kirill, Boldy, and then Middleton and Faber. For whatever reason, that unit of 5 is really it's just got an interesting mix. I think with Booyam, you just gotta give him some leash. You gotta let him. There will be nights where he makes the best play for our team and the best play for their team, probably. But I just think let the guy be who he is. He's 19 years old. And you look at this league, right? Jackson Lacombe, Layden Hudson, Quinn Hughes, Cale Makar. The defensive position is completely changing. And if you can get a 60-point defenseman, a 70-point defenseman, it changes certainly your power play on your team as well.
And on an entry-level deal.
Yeah. So the only really wild card on D, I think, is how quickly Juracek becomes what people thought he would become when he was drafted as high as he was.
I think it's also how quick Brodin can come back.
Yep.
So you've got Middleton, Faber, right now Booyam, Spurgeon, and then Bogosian, Juracek. Brodin comes back. I think he's instantly in your top 4. So then all of a sudden you've got, Spurgeon, Brodin. Then you're solid.
Yeah. And their numbers analytically last year together were some of the best in the league when they played together, Brodin and Spurgeon. I guess my only concern is they're like Booyam's 2 best preseason games played alongside Spurgeon, right? Which isn't a shock because Spurgeon just makes everybody better. So it's like, okay, Rhodes and Spurge together, I love it. Middleton and Faber, I love it. Now you're putting Booyam with either a solid vet in Bogosian.
Yeah, it's going to have to be
young
Bogosian.
Kid.
It's not going to be the 2.
Where does Damon Hunt factor in all this? I think it's very interesting to see how it shakes out.
Yeah, I don't think we see a world where they have the 2 kids out there. Yeah, especially not on the road. And now when I look at these pairs, Middleton, Faber, big guys that can skate. Spurgeon, Booyam, small guys that can skate. And then your third pair, you've got Juracek and Bogosian, bigger guys, and I think Juracek has like a little bit more offensive flair. I could see that getting split up at some point to create balance.
You mean size, smaller,
because you're not going to be able to get the matchup you want on the road. At home, that's great because you can put the D set out against the line that you want. So like if you go to play Colorado or even Vegas where you've got Eichel, you want the big guys out there, the big guys able to defend, and you don't mind having the skaters against the second line. It gives you a puck moving option. When you can control the matchup, that's great. But I wouldn't be surprised if they start to balance out size and skating a little bit in those top 4 once Brodin is back.
Bogo, man, the thing I just love about him is the puck is on net. How many times you see D miss the net, right, when they take a shot? And this guy, I don't know, he's just a pro. He's been in the league a long time, right? But he finds a way to get that shot on goal. And with our team, with Eck and all these other guys, if you can get it to the goalie, that is a huge asset. So,
Hey, Joe, have you talked to Tarasenko at all?
Yes.
What a great dude.
Yeah. I actually had him help me out with Urov the other day. I want to make sure I get the names right, And is it Danila? Is it Danila? And I went to actually Kevin Fallen. I said, why don't you ask one of the other Russians? Because I know if I go to Urov, it'll be tough to
Here.
Like I did before rookie camp, and I said, hey, how do you pronounce your name? And I started to phonetically write it out, and he's shaking his head no, because he's like, you're spelling my name wrong, dude. And I was like, oh, I know I'm spelling it wrong. I'm trying to phonetically spell it. And he was just like, it was lost in translation, So I kind of figured it out. But
Understandably.
Right. So I'm like, all right, before the regular season, I want to make sure I've been saying this right throughout the preseason. So I went to Tarasenko, and he was like, what are the two options? And I said, Danila or Danila, a little difference, and we worked through it together. We workshopped it. He was awesome.
What is it?
Danila, like I'm kneeling. Danila.
Danila. Okay.
Yeah. And then Urov. Not you're off, but Urov.
Urov.
Yeah, great dude. So we've got an interview with him that we'll get to in a little bit here. But
he's an interesting cat.
Surprised me. Very family-oriented guy, very focused, very intentional, I think, with how he lives.
Yeah.
Intriguing.
I'm excited, man. It's one of those moves. It was very low risk for the Wild. It could be very high reward.
Yeah, it's so we'll get to that in a bit. But before we do, let's get to bold predictions.
Let's do it.
Kinger, how are you feeling about bold predictions? I know you
got his bingo card.
He's a little sour over here.
Well, I just wanted to read this. So there's a word, welcher. Mm-hmm. It's a noun.
Tell us more.
Someone who swindles you by not repaying a debt or wager. Some of the synonyms would be welsher, chiseler, defrauder, gouger, grifter, scammer, swindler.
Karts is a grifter.
A person who swindles you by means of deception or fraud. So hypothetically, that would be even if you won bold predictions last year by a half a point and you thought there was an asterisk or some technicality, and the deal terms were that you would go to Billy Sushi for a meal and enjoy yourself and have fellowship with your friends and co-podcasters. Now you were entering into a new season. I guess my question for you is, how are our listeners supposed to even buy into this franchise when they know that I still haven't been rewarded for last year?
Well, it's funny.
Did you win, though? I don't think you won.
I did win.
So it's funny. We're all winners in our own mind. But in the NHL, there's also this term called a pot beater, when you beat the pot.
Yeah.
So typically what happens is you all go out to dinner, and then everybody orders the entree. And instead of saying, hey, waiter, we're going to each give you a credit card and you pay for ourselves, you split the pot. But what one person happens to do in that scenario is beat the pot.
We have one with our traveling party.
They know they're splitting it, so they'll order top shelf wine. They'll order appetizer, entree, dessert.
Yeah.
When everybody else is just getting a quick little appetizer.
Small salad.
And they might be like, can I get something to go? That's basically what John was during this encounter, because we had the debt. We're like, all right, we'll go to Billy Sushi. He goes, by the way, I'm going to bring my wife, and I think everybody else I know is going to come too. So we were like, wow, this guy's a true pot beater.
Yeah.
So we had to choose between allowing somebody to be a pot beater or be a welcher. Yeah. And we were like, it's probably best that we're a welcher.
Yeah.
So do you have the gift card here today? I never said that we were going to pay for my wife. I thought she might. A table for three is awkward, right?
Well,
you never know. You could have brought your wives.
I mean,
let's get personal.
I think we need to have a standard set on how we determine a winner. We've never had a clear
This is the other part. So John said he got his right.
Yeah, right. What?
So you're saying we need an outside?
You said there were going to be Husnudinov jerseys in the stands. He was traded. All right, so that's not a win. I said Trenton was going to have 20 goals. He didn't have half that. That's not a win. I might have had more losses, but I can't remember more wins.
I can't remember the ones that John gave himself credit for, because I think he won by a half a point and he gave himself
half a point.
Yeah. And he gave himself the half point.
So I say either the Wild on 7th podcast Twitter, you put out a poll, or the YouTube comments. That's how we decide this thing.
Okay, so we're going to do some sort of crowdsource.
Let the people decide who won the bold prediction when the year ends.
And there needs to be a bold veto. Joe says the Wild are going to clinch their playoff spot on February 28th at
7 p.m.
Yeah, then that one is legit bold. There are other ones that aren't bold.
Okay.
I've always been bold, though.
I'm saying yours were.
All right.
Some of the other ones, maybe not.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. So I'll start. because I think that you're on one that I'm on, Joe, and I want to get to it first.
Damn it.
So the Wild, in their history, have had 2 goalies start more than 60 games. Did I sniff this out?
You're on to it.
So this is what mine is. Yeah, Doobie did it twice, if I'm not mistaken, and Backy did it once. And Doobie, almost like 3 or 4 years apart. But I think Gustavsson enters that equation, and he gets more than 60 starts.
He sets the franchise record for starts.
No, he's not setting the franchise record. Backy had 70.
Oh, he did?
Yeah.
There's a lot of back-to-backs this year too.
Yeah, so he's not, but he will get more than 60 starts. So he'll be top 3 in the NHL in starts.
What was he last year?
Over 60.
I think he was 6, maybe.
He
He had 56, so I think he was definitely top 10 in the league.
Yeah.
So you're saying he's going to be what?
like over 60, so I'll say 61.
It's borderline.
I'll allow it.
It's borderline.
We'll allow it. It's early.
All
I
right.
hope he gets bolder.
Okay.
You're going to get bolder, right?
Sure.
Okay.
All right.
And I'll allow it.
Well, let's hear what yours. Okay,
No,
wait,
go ahead.
wait.
Go ahead.
All right, so Joe, you're next.
Well, I thought we all do. I thought you do your 5, I do my 5.
No, we alternate.
We do?
Yeah.
Vinny Hinostroza double-digit goals for the first time since the 21-22 season. He's done it twice in his career.
I love Vinny.
Okay.
I want a Hinostroza jersey.
I was worried you guys would shoot that one down.
I
I'm
like
only
that
going
one.
way up from there.
He didn't even like Vinny's just
My last one might be outlandish, but I'm going to go with
all right.
it.
So we got Vinny. I got one called the Leon Leap. Okay. So I looked at the Dreisaitl's numbers. 51 points, 77 points, 70 points, and then he just goes into the stratosphere. 105, 110, 84, he was injured, 110, 128, 106, 106. Boldy, 63, 69, 73. Okay. This is counter to what you guys are saying about him having his own line. I think they keep them together. I think Matthew Leon Boldy, not Edward, makes the leap, flirts with 100 points, but gets at least to 90, which is a huge uptick from.
So now he's telling us on
73.
how bold that is? I don't know.
It says bold. It's bolds. The Leon Leap. The guy's the most.
I don't
he's
think
ever
90
scored
points is bold.
He played 82 games last year and had 82 points. I got him at 90.
So you're saying that there should be no cooked in improvement.
I'm saying he's making 7 times 7. They say he's Robin. He's going to be Batman by the end of this year. He's going to make the Leon Leap. He's going to become a true stud where it's like Kirill and Boldy. He's not a sidekick.
So, and how do we quantify that?
That is a 1.4 increase in his points, something like that. I mean, he's going over 90 points from 73. Played all the games last
He
year.
had a great summer in the gym. I talked to Matt Harder, strength coach. He made a huge step in the eyes of the strength coach. And
I also branded all of mine with clever names.
Yeah,
So the
shocker.
Leon Leap, Matthew Leon / Edward Boldy, 90.
I've got.
Is that in?
How did you know that his middle name was
would
Edward? Because I
would say that you have to
looked
get
it
to
up.
like 90, 93
No.
points.
I know a lot of middle names. Because
Are you okay with 90?
in the minors for these guys?
90 points.
It's fine.
Okay, good.
I'll allow it.
1 in the clubhouse.
Carts is not happy.
All right, who's next?
Can I just go to my second one because it's very similar to that.
That's not okay. That's fine.
Matt Boldy's going to lead the team in scoring again. He did it last year, mainly because Kaprizov played 41 games. I have Boldy leading the team in scoring. Is that bold enough?
That's really bold with a $17 million stud, I think.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's bold. Carts, you want one?
I'm feeling good so far.
7th Street Savages are dead. I think the Wild and the era of being bad and bullies are behind us. I have the Wild finishing in the bottom 5 in hits.
In hits?
Yep.
Very subjective stat. I thought you were going to go penalty minutes
Well, we could go. I don't know that we can go penalty minutes because
because Foligno's going to fight 10 times. And
No, I don't think he is. I don't think he's going to fight that many times. I just think in general, like the narrative where it was the Wild were, and we've talked about penalty minutes, leading the league in penalty minutes for times, but hits are a subjective but it's not really. It's just different on each building. But I just don't think that they'll play that style.
You said bottom 5 in hits?
Yep.
There's no way. That is bold because that's
My laptop's
That just
over there. I
makes
know
me-
what they were last year.
that makes me
had it.
feel soft and sad, and there's no way. Billy Guerin, no way.
I mean, Trenyon and Foligno were like leading the postseason in hits last year.
Who else hits?
Hartman
It's
hits.
kind of bold.
Who else is going to lay a hit?
Defenseman will lay hits. Middleton will lay hits. Jarachek will hit people.
Ogren, hopefully.
I love
size.
that. Let him get that in because he's going to get smoked on that.
Okay.
All I got to do is tell Billy that you bet that on Tuesday night, and I'll cover that one.
Okay. All right, you want to go to your third?
Yeah, well, hold on. We could talk about that one, but no, you.
I love that.
I would like to look up what they were last year rank-wise.
Huss, look that up, would you?
I can look it up on my phone.
All right, this one by nature has to be bold. If we think that Matt Boldy is going to lead the team in points, but I have Kaprizov finishing top 3 in the Hart Trophy. So the Minnesota Wild have never had anybody in that stratosphere, and in order for him to be there, he's going to have to leapfrog the McKinnon, McDavid, Draisaitl, Makar, Quinn Hughes, Kucherov. And this is the year, I think, 8x17 and the pressure. All of a sudden, he finds a way and is top 3. So we'll know that when NHL awards come out, that he is top 3. He's a finalist for the league MVP.
So how does this work? Because I have a similar one. The $136 million man will be just that, finishing as a Hart Trophy finalist, top 3, with a full season of NHL store production. I called that clear eyes, full heart, spelled differently. Can't lose, just because I thought it was more memorable. But if you have one, can I not have one? I have some backups, but what's the rule on that?
I think you got to go back up.
Okay, so you took that one. Okay, I'll deal with it. That's bold. That's tough.
It's going to be hard.
You got to be healthy. You got to be as good as you were the first half of last year. Okay, I like that.
Where I think that there is a little grace for where it maybe won't be, it's not as bold, is I think they do take into account how important you are to your team, too. So when you win the Hart, it's not necessarily who got the most points.
Yeah, like last year that he was getting the benefit of that.
Because he was so important to the team.
Yep. All right, I got to get one in here in case you guys have this. I'm calling this one new employee candy jar. You know when you're a new guy and you get the candy jar at your desk, back when people used to go to the office? So I got Tarasenko, Buyum, and Yurov combined for 120 points we didn't have last year.
120 points, Yurov, Tarasenko, and Buyum.
Yeah.
That's bold.
Yeah. So if one of them drops out, so say Yurov has some troubles, I need more points from Vladdy.
I would say...
You're so biased.
I'm not. Okay, so let's go through it. How many points do you think Buyum's going to get?
Well, say he has 40, which is an unreal rookie season.
Well, Quinn had 53 his rookie year, but that's
Lane Hudson
crazy.
last year.
60, but
I think 40
60.
points for Buyum is I will take that. I will sign up for that in a heartbeat.
Yeah, but that's not...
So point every other game.
You'll
Tarasenko,
take it, but that's not bold.
Well, it is when you factor in that Yurov might not even be here at times.
Yeah.
Tarasenko had 33 last year, an anomaly, we hope, in Detroit. Rossi got to 40 after the American League stuff, but I don't know. I still think it's a big deal. You know, you're replacing like these Freddie.
Yeah, so hold on. It's Yurov, Tarasenko, and
Tarasenko
Buyum.
gives you 50.
120. I got to get to.
Say 50 and 50 for Tarasenko and Buyum. You still got to get 20 points from Yurov.
New employee candy jar.
Yeah.
10 and 10.
All right, got through it. Good.
You can thank me later.
This
for
is
that one,
great
Tinger.
for the listeners, by the way. This is so exciting.
I'm still trying to find hits, team hits. This is bothering me.
I'm going to go back to back then while you're waiting. I got the Faber 40. Brock Faber's offensive production returns to closer to what we saw his rookie season with over 40 points. He will most likely not be running PP1. He's going to be getting those 30-second shifts on the back end. But I think there's more in the tank there for Mr. Faber, and I got the Faber 40.
Okay.
You okay with that one?
I feel like these are over-under lines that are set. It's not bold. Like I feel like
That's his least bold so far.
That's the over-under line.
He didn't have it last year. He had 29 points last year.
I'll allow Faber. Yeah, but he had 20 fewer assists. So what do you have as a rookie season?
47.
Right. So give me 50.
But Bouillam's in the mix now.
Give me 45 then.
Okay, 45 Faber. I'll do that.
Okay. Power play is top 10 this year and will be 25% or higher. Now, last year...
So both of those have to hit.
Last year, NHL 10th in the league was Utah. They were 24.2%. So I'm saying the Wild will go higher than that slightly, be the highest power play they've ever had in franchise history. They were 20.9% last year, and the year before they were 22.7%. So I'm going to say it'll be the best power play in team history, essentially, and be top 10 in the league.
That's bold. Whenever you put two things in there, speaking from experience, although I take a half point usually, it makes it a lot harder.
Okay, I'll go the other special, PK. 56 goals against last year on the PK. I have the Wild at 45 this year, and I'm going to give them a 6 shorties. Yeah.
Okay.
So their net PK percentage is going to be, if they're at a similar rate, it's going to be like 82% net PK, 81% net PK.
Okay. Which one, 81 or 82?
Let's go 81.
Okay.
No, let's go 82.
Yeah, let's go 82.
Mr. Carter, I got 45 points here for Faber. Let's go 82.
I already have.
Hey, I'm not getting
I already
swindled.
have like
Let's
2
go 82.
qualifiers on
Let's
that.
go 82.
Okay, so that's all I have to have is net PK above 82. Deal.
All right, my number 4.
Yeah.
Kaprizov breaks a franchise career goal record by the end of March. He needs 15 to break Preseason and hit 200. He'll do that by Thanksgiving. That'll be the third ever Wild player with 200 career goals. And he needs to get to 219 this year to break Gaborik. So he needs like 33 or 34 to break the record. He'll do it by the end of March. So when we hit April 1, Kaprizov is the franchise all-time goal leader. And I think he'll get to 200 and beat Parise's mark by Thanksgiving.
So you
Bold.
got- okay, we'll take that.
So that's
Whenever he puts like a date on stuff, we're keeping it.
I like dates and timelines and. All right, I got bounced on my heart pick, so I'm going to do this one. I'm calling Big Deal Billy.
I like this one.
Billy's going to bring in a famous player into our locker room. So Billy is he's a marketing guy too. And if you look at Flower, Pat Maroon, Ryan Reeves, some guy is going to join our team with his wallet that he's been sitting on this dry powder. I don't know when it's going to happen. It might be at the deadline. It might be earlier, like Joe said, but some name brand hockey player will be in our room that is not in the room right now. And I'm not talking about a guy I have to look up on the internet and go, oh, he's good. He's a right-handed shot. I'm talking like somebody my son knows his name already. Like, oh, wow, the Wild added that guy. Some big, a whale. You know, whale's a little strong because it's not like people are trading McDavid or something, but there's going to be a big hitter coming into this room.
So this person has been an all-star.
Yes.
And when is this happening by?
I'm not you. I'm not putting a timestamp on it. It's going to happen during the regular season before the deadline.
So it can't be a deadline pickup.
It can be a deadline pickup. Because I don't know what
I don't think that's that bold.
That's not bold.
They got $5 million in cap space. They're gonna make a move.
That's not bold. Like if they think they can win a cup, they're going to bring in somebody.
Yeah. I think
when
it's
is the
bold if you say it's going to happen by Thanksgiving, which is what I think is going to happen.
Or even by the
trade
Olympic
deadline?
break.
Yeah, by the Olympic break is fine because Billy's going to be. Although God, he might look at players in the Olympics.
Kinger, I'm telling you right now, if this season starts slowly, they're
All right.
pulling the trigger on a move.
All right, I'll take Olympic break.
They have to.
I'll take Olympic break.
I think.
Fine.
I like that. All right, we held his feet to the fire. All right, my last one, if it's okay to go here. And this is bold. I don't even know if I believe it. But for the sake of the podcast and the people, I am a man of the people. Filip Gustavsson wins the Vezina.
Oh, Jesus. Wow.
He's walking off, headset off.
Mic drop.
Mic.
Wow.
I mean, that's tough because it's
Connor Hellebuyck's trophy. And you got Ottinger in the division. And there's 10 other all-world goaltenders out there. But if they're going to lean on him, and he's going to play 60-plus games, his save percentage two of the last 3 years and goals against has been top 10 in the league, First ever Vezina Trophy winner in Wild history is Filip Gustavsson.
I mean, obviously it's bold.
Now, by the way, if he wins it, like, let's just crown me the winner.
Okay.
All right?
I don't know that that's how it works. Each point is worth the same. Wow. Okay. Yeah, that's bold. How about you got one left, maybe?
Me, yeah. So I'll go this one.
Oh, here he goes. My daughter's youth hockey team will win 12
Only
games
lose
this year.
2 games at the U12 level. Bunch of good defensemen.
I'll say Bouillon sets the franchise record for rookie scoring.
Well, Kirill must have done a big number. He won the Calder.
Yeah, 50. What do you have that year? 50-some points in 50
I think
games?
he looks like he forgot Kirill won the Calder.
No. By defenseman.
No.
That's 48 points.
From who?
Bouillon.
No. Who has the record?
Faber.
47, you're right.
So it's Faber, and then it drops way off.
That's medium bold.
That's 47 Faber. Then I think the next one is Kalen Addison with 29.
We got to tick him up to 50.
Let's, can you and I have a sidebar?
Yeah. What do you got? I think we get him to 50, we're in good shape. There's a big difference in those.
Cut the commercial break so Karen and I can talk.
Franchise record for D scoring from Zeev Bouillon.
I think you go franchise record for points, not D scoring.
I don't know what Kirill had.
Well, take me 2 seconds. I'll tell you. I think he was in the 50s in the 56-game COVID-shortened season.
Oh, that helps you. Hey, while he's looking this up, I'll do this one just because I think it's going to break some ties.
I'll do 47.
Nope. Hang on. Kinger's gone.
I'll do 47, and he's top 3 in Calder.
You got that guy in Montreal.
He had 51 points his rookie year.
Yeah, I'll do 47, top 3 in Calder.
I won 52.
No. Minnesota franchise record, two qualifiers, and Calder.
50?
40.
If he puts up 47
That's-
points, he will be top 3 in Calder. So, no, he's got to break Kaprizov's record.
I don't know that that's the case. So right now, Calder, the odds are Demidov plus 180.
Yep, favorite.
He's insane.
Yeah. Howard plus 1,100.
He might end up with
No.
McDavid. He might end up with McDavid.
He's second. There's that big of a gap from 1 to 2?
Yeah. Yeah. I think so. Snuggie is third. And then you've got Misa, Schaefer, and then Bouillon rounds it out.
What do you think, Kinger?
I think we need at least one more point, like 48.
48 deal.
All right, 48. This one I had to do. I was going to maybe shift out of it. This is going to be very in the face on Radio Joe. I'm calling it the Wally bounce back.
Hey, hang on a second. Covers.com has Bouillon's second best odds at plus 950.
Well, I went FanDuel because we're on their air. So what is
I just Googled Calder Trophy odds. Demidov plus 135, Bouillon plus 950, Snuggerud 1050, and it goes from there. By the way, Ryan Leonard, sneaky good pick there for the Caps. But
Let's let it go, 49. Okay, I'm going to do the Wally bounce back.
48.
Just like how goalies throw balls against the wall, after a tough season, Wallstead will emerge as a solid number 2, winning 15 games. Okay, so Flower won 17 and 14. Hall of Famer, first ballot. There's a lot of back-to-backs. That's the only reason I feel and our decor is really good. But I think he's a real serious dude. He was meant to be the franchise. You see kids like Spencer Knight kind of figuring it out. So I got 15 wins for Jesper Wallstead in his all-black outfit. That's going to be hard because if Gus is doing what you think he's going to do, he has to win like 75% of his starts. So I thought that one was okay.
I mean, if Gus wins 35 and Volstead wins 15, there's 50 wins. You're in the playoffs.
Yeah.
And I think Gus will win more than 35.
So is it bold?
What were your other ones?
That's all I had. That was my backup.
I would say you're good at setting like the over-under line. Like you're right there.
Well, I'm fine going to like 16. So Fleury,
allow it.
14 and 17. First ballot Hall of Famer. Pretty good goalie. That's what.
Yes, but not at a point in his career where he was, he had his moments the last couple of years. He wasn't a slouch.
Jesper had a rugged ride in Iowa last year.
He did.
I'm going 16. It's in.
All right. It's fine.
Again, it doesn't matter
It'll be
because
April-
in
it'll
the
be
end he'll
April.
just say he got it anyway.
It'll be April, last game of the year. Volsted's playing. He's at 15 wins, and I'm rooting like hell in the press box for the Wild to lose the game because it doesn't matter the standings.
Oh man, I have a bunch of other shenanigans. Do you want to do like a little 5-minute? What do you guys got that you want to cover that we haven't? Pretty solid pod whenever Joe comes.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys.
Yeah, the only other thing is I'd like to go through the Central because I think it's going to be a tough year.
Yeah.
You know, last year I think Nashville caught everybody by surprise, just giving games away.
For being red rotten.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah.
The West has all of a sudden turned into a complete gauntlet. Chicago looks better.
They do, but do you ever look at, I know you do, you look at some of those analytical sites, like the point projections that the Athletic will do, and like they still have Chicago at like 70 points. I'm like, with all that talent up front now, like the young kids, how are they going to be that bad again? You know, like the eye test to me says they should be way better. And then you look at the 10,000 simulations and they're expected to be dead last again.
They're still going to be bad.
And maybe those simulations are imperfect too because they just go based on like a kid's history, and they can't bake in
Project
the improvement.
Yeah.
You know? But
yeah, Nashville can't be as bad.
Nashville won't be as bad.
Nashville's going to be
St.
good.
Louis is going to
can't be
be
as
better.
Yep. Utah
Going to be
going
better.
to be a problem.
Yeah.
They have better goaltending.
Dallas, I actually think Dallas is going the other direction a little bit.
I feel that way about Winnipeg.
Winnipeg's going the other direction.
But they had 116 points last year. So when I was looking at it the other day, I'm like, how much worse? So what, they now are a 100-point team? Like they're not. I don't think they're going to go from 116 to 90. Now they have some injuries. They just lost Cole Perfetti week to week, and Lowry's going to start the season hurt. But they have the reigning MVP in net. So
Colorado's going to be awesome.
I think it's the Avs' year to.
They're going to be a handful.
Yeah.
Dude, the Central's a beast.
Dallas with their new coach and Glenn Gultson. I know he's been there before, and I know he's had a camp and a preseason now. Like, you know, they might start a little bit slower as they adjust. But I don't see them going anywhere.
So where do we think the Wild finish in the Central?
I think it's fourth in a wild card spot again. Is what you gotta stay ahead of Utah, and you gotta out if you finish ahead of St. Louis and Utah, you're gonna make a playoff spot. Like those are the two teams. Because again, if you look at Vegas, LA, Edmonton, right? Let's just say they're in, and Winnipeg, Dallas, Colorado. Let's just say they're in some fashion. Again, it's 2 spots for 5 teams, 6 teams.
What this year I think is going to come down to is winning the games that you should. And it's going to be even harder than it was last year.
Right.
So you have to beat Anaheim, and that's going to be tougher to do.
Yep.
You're going to have to beat San Jose. It's going to be harder to do. You know, and like in the West, where's an easy game right now?
The Wild have done the last couple of years a really good job at that, by the way. They have owned the Ducks. They've owned the Sharks. They've won the season series against the Blackhawks every year the last 3 years. Like, to your point, you have to do that again. And you're right. It's going to be harder.
Where are the easy games in the West? There's going to be a team that surprises like Nashville that turns out to just struggle and stink.
Right. Like maybe, but
Calgary-
Vancouver's an unknown.
Calgary might be bad. Vancouver might be bad.
Calgary might be bad, but Dustin Wolf can win you a game like that.
And Calgary, after the deadline last year, was like one of the best teams in the NHL. It's unbelievable.
I know. I looked at their roster, though, and I was like,
who?
I don't even know what I would want to watch here.
Calgary, yeah.
Chicago, I still think they're a ways away.
That's the easiest game in the West.
Bedard's not Celebrini. Renzel has to learn how to run that power play. He's really good, but I don't know that he's going to figure it out the first year. I love that Nazar kid. It's awesome, but I don't know. It seems like they're going to scare you, but then you beat them. That's what I'm hoping, is we got to run the table on Chicago.
But those are the ones that you can't take off. Like
right.
you have,
or you have to be way better.
Come down to it. You have to.
If you blink, they'll beat you. They got enough skill.
But so 2 years ago when the Wild missed the playoffs, what were they, like 0-10 against Dallas, Winnipeg, Colorado, right? Like couple overtime shootout, and it was heavily publicized, for lack of a better term, because it was the difference in getting in or not. Last year they got a little bit better, right? Took a game against Dallas. They took a game. Like, if you're going to falter against a Anaheim, right, and you're not going to go 4-0 against them or 3-0, if that's the case, you better go 2-1, against the Colorado, or 3-1 against, or pick up points in all 4 games against Winnipeg. Like, and those are battles.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm with you.
Central's tough.
Tough.
really tough.
And the West is tough, period, now.
And the Olympic break is condensing games, and we're going to have a bunch of guys playing in the Olympics. Factor in Germany now with Sturm. Is Austria in? I don't even know, to be honest.
I don't know either.
So,
you know who's not playing the Olympics? 97.
Yeah.
He's going to be in Cabo, just getting his mind right for the season-ending push. But I think Colorado trends up, Dallas trends up, Nashville trends up. But I don't know what happens with Winnipeg, and I think some of these teams are going to come back down to earth. And I'm hoping wild card 1 for the Wild.
A comfortable one, not last
like
minute.
no, like
last 20 seconds.
No Eriksson Ek by the hair. No, I want to just be relaxed.
All right, what else you got on the bingo card?
I got what did I have here? We have season preview live tomorrow night, maybe the day this comes out, 5:00 at Grand Casino. So if you're a fan of the podcast or a fan of the Wild, come check us out. And then I want to do this thing, Karts. I've been thinking about this. So people consume, this will be my last thing, people consume the podcast on television, on YouTube, they listen. And I was trying to think of a way to have momentum during the year. So anytime the Wild don't get a point, I'm going to shave clean. But if they're getting points, whether it's just an overtime point or a 2-pointer, I'm going to let the beard grow. And it's going to be called the Whisker Ticker. It's going to be like CNBC. So if you're watching FanDuel and I have a 5:00 shadow, you know things are going well with the hockey team. If you see me up there like a baby face, that's a problem. So I want to have a little mo. I want to carry it on my face. I couldn't name it forever. And then I was like, this is like a stock market. This is the Whisker Ticker. So that's something, that I'm bringing that to the party. I will see what Billy thinks about that tomorrow night. And then the only other thing is listen to this Vladdy interview. This guy is such an old soul, deep as a river, raised by his grandparents. The way he answers are like the slowest rapid fire in the history of the podcast.
It had to be, though.
I mean, he is so cool. And I think the closest we've had to a guest like this is probably Freddie Gaudreau in terms of the depth and the thoughtfulness to his responses. And so I hope people enjoy that as well.
The best part was he walks in for the first time and he didn't know that it was a podcast. He just agreed to talk to some people because he goes, "What, this is a podcast?" And no, I'm not doing it. And we're like, "What?" He's like, "I don't do podcasts." I've told everybody no, and I got to stick with no. See you later. And then we're like, "Okay, it's not a podcast. It's a TV show." Yeah. And eventually we got him to stay. But yeah, good dude.
That's awesome.
Yeah. All right, Vladimir Tarasenko. Here you go.
All right, we got a killer guest today. Awesome. This is sponsored by Duke Cannon. If you want to get your hair looking amazing, if you want the body washes, the shampoos, earn your clean. Walk into a Target, look for a giant display of Duke Cannon. We got a stud coming in here today. Over 800 games in the NHL, 662 points, 3-time All-Star. He's a first-rounder. He's won a World Junior gold medal. He's got a couple Stanley Cups. He's been a Wild killer for years. And my favorite quote from his Wikipedia, where I do all my research, described by scouts as strong and mobile with no glaring weaknesses. Vladimir Tarasenko, welcome to the podcast, brother. Welcome to Minnesota, too.
Thank you very much.
I got to start with this. I was looking because I had this memory of hat tricks in the playoffs against us. I think I had blocked it out mostly, but between the Winter Classic with your Hawaiian shirts, you got a hat trick against Dubnyk. You got another one in 15. I mean, this is a place you like to play, I would assume, against Minnesota. And what was your perception of Minnesota before coming here and now that you're in the room living here?
First of all, yeah, we play a lot of games against, obviously, because I was playing in St. Louis. And anywhere we play at home or away against Wild, it's always going to be a competitive game. Like we always know, it's not going to be an easy walk. And I heard that it's a very tight group of guys. It's a group of guys who support each other and willing to sacrifice for success. And so far, I'm very happy to be here. It's really nice guys. They helped me a lot moving in, and it's nice to be in the locker room every day.
Were the Wild like a rival of St. Louis? I know they're the Central Division back in the day, but I feel like Wild fans kind of associate St. Louis with kind of a rivalry. Was it the same in St. Louis? Was it like, oh man, we got to get through Minnesota? Because when you were younger, Minnesota with Parise, Suter, that era, like they were a good team. I mean, it wasn't Chicago, but and then kind of 16, 17, St. Louis was on the rise, and obviously you were a big part of that. But was Minnesota a rival to you guys, or was it just like, that's a tough team, we got to play?
I feel like biggest rival there was Chicago games, but like I said, many years we played. I think we played 3 playoff series maybe, and I think it's just become a rival also.
Yeah, because of that.
But also in the Central Division at that time, it was Nashville was very good, Minnesota, Chicago. Like almost every team was very good, and you kind of treat them as rivals also.
Yeah, no doubt. Let's go back to that 19 year and the playoffs. What was special about that group?
I think we had some experience before. A lot of guys went to the conference finals in 2016, where we lost to San Jose, and we had that experience in playoffs where you know what it takes to get deeper, past a few rounds and reach it to the conference finals. And also, when Chief came in, just treat everybody fair and make guys work for each other, make guys like each other, and everybody just bought in for one goal, and we started winning more games. We changed our mindset from, we win the game and we like it to like we're supposed to win if we play well.
Yeah, almost like the expectation changed.
Yeah, and then we go game by game and made it to the playoffs and figure out that as soon as you make it to the playoffs, everything can happen, and go game by game again and just never give up.
You think you have to go on a deep run to understand what is required to go on a deep run?
I think you need to make a playoffs first. I think it's enough to be in the playoffs for multiple years and go through different scenarios, because playoffs is not always the same. It's a lot of ups and downs, and I think when everything good, a lot of teams can play, but when things don't go right, how a team react on it, I think it's defines the teams who like going for a cup run.
I was going to ask you, we have a lot of Swedish players on the team. I think they adopt Zuccarello as an honorary Swede sometimes. But now we have a lot of Russian players with yourself, 97, Yurov, Trenin. Is that nice to have a group, work at, are we speaking Russian in the locker room a little bit, or is that you're on the plane together playing cards, or is Zuccarello an honorary Russian as well? Maybe he is.
I don't know. He's a very nice guy, and I know they're very tight with Kirill. But if you have guys from your country, or the guys who speak your language, you will speak with them. It doesn't matter how many years you spend in the States. It's still different experience, and those Russian guys are very nice. We speak a lot every day in Russian, of course, but actually have a dinner today. So.
That's good. And I know you loved St. Louis when you lived there. I saw the nice note you wrote the fans.
That was great.
When you left. And have you been here long enough to pick up the Minnesota vibe? I would think they're similar. I've spent a little time in St. Louis, not that much, but what do you make of the lifestyle? And you got kids and everything. What do you think of Minnesota so far?
Yeah, my kids and my wife not here yet. They'll come in soon, but I think it's pretty similar. Like you live in the suburbs, away from a rink. It's a different lifestyle than the part the rink in, and I feel like it's very family oriented. Everything is very close. You don't spend much time driving around. Even if your kids play hockey or go to school, it's short drives, and it's pretty similar. A lot of trees, but like I mentioned before, a lot of stuff coming from a rink too. Like if you like to be at the rink, like every city feels better.
Yeah,
that's a good point.
Yeah,
good rink, good practice rink, good food. You like to be at the rink?
No, I'm talking about guys. I'm not talking about.
Oh, just the guys.
I'm not talking about how good is your rink or food. It's fixable things. It's if you have a good group you enjoy coming to every day to the rink, like I can live anywhere.
I like it. Let's get to the aux cord eventually, but I am curious about this. The song Gloria in the 2019 run, there was a lot that was talked about that, right? Did that bring you guys together a little bit? And like, how big of a deal is that?
I don't know. I wasn't at the bar where all this happened. I don't really know the story, to be honest. But I think it was part of the things. We have a few things going on around the team, but I think most stuff bring the guys together was new coach and understanding that like we can do it. You know, like song is fine, it's fun, and was kind of what we treat when we win the game. You know, you can hear it and have some positive emotions. But I feel like at that playoff run, like nobody really cares how much you play or what you do. And I think we have a perfect example in the finals with our like you can say fourth line played the most minutes a few nights, and we won some games and everybody happy. But every year after you're making the playoffs, and I was fortunate that we made the playoffs many years in St. Louis.
Yeah.
You think like it's never gonna go away, and then one year you miss the playoffs, and you're like, oh, okay, I don't expect it to go this way.
Right.
And then you stop taking it for granted. Like you work harder, and when you have a feeling that you know it's your chance, you can let it go.
How was it breaking into the NHL? Actually, a couple questions on this with Ken Hitchcock as your coach. You know, I mean, that had to be tough coming from, you know, KHL to a Ken Hitchcock kind of hockey.
No, I have a lot of credit to Hitch, and I'm very thankful I met him on my life path and hockey path. He's very strict, but also very smart. It's we always enjoy talk about hockey, and he taught me like a lot of things, which helped me till this day. And it was a little bit more towards defense, but also
A little bit.
the thing I like that he goes hard on you, but if you do it right, you get rewarded. Like you would play more if you do things right.
Yeah.
And
Like he's honest. He tells you something, you do it, then you play more.
of course, there was some moments where I don't really understand like what they want from me because I just came to the league. But like I said, during the time working with him during those years, we was getting to know each other better. And like I said, I'm very thankful that I had the chance to work with, I would say, one of the greatest coaches ever coached.
No doubt. Good perspective there. So now my next question with that is you've got a guy like Yurov, and Kaprizov's been over here playing for a while now, but it's challenging for a guy like that to jump over to the United States, change everything he's ever known, kind of language, lifestyle, and come to the rink and just say, yeah, I'm going to play and be the player that I was 6 months ago?
I think it's hard to go in a new place in general, but when you come from Russia, there's a different hockey there, different atmosphere, let's say, with the NHL. And he's kind of fortunate that he have us, that we can explain stuff and tell him if he don't understand something. But it's one of the biggest parts is you're really shy to ask too, because you feel like you ask once, twice, and then you're not sure, should I ask again, because they might think that I have no idea what's going on.
Yeah, you don't get it, yeah.
And that's what we're trying to say, that you can ask as many questions as you want so until you understand and everybody knows it's a new environment for you. And, you don't know what coach expects from you too. But I feel like they're doing a great job explaining him. If he don't understand something, he jump and ask us. And he's a very well-raised young guy who is very fun to be around. And hopefully he feel like we're helping him a lot.
Should we do rapid fire with him?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's get to know him a little bit.
You're going to like this. So this is like a bunch of questions, and it's like a one-timer, basically. Just answer fast. If you don't have an answer, just say pass, because you're a first-time guest, so this is just a way for people to get to know you a little better. Carter and I will kind of go
Back and
forth, and it's just kind of, a lot of them are easy, some of them are a little. So nickname, what do you like to be called?
I think most people call me Vladdy.
Vladdy's such a good nickname, by the way.
It is a good one. Who do you text the most? Now, I know you're married. You've got older kids now, too, but who do you text the most?
My wife, by a lot.
By a lot? The son doesn't even...
It's not even close, yeah.
All right. What do you listen to in the car?
I call my wife in the car. No, I'm listening. I have a variations of music. Like it can be 80s, 90s music. It can be, I don't know, some rap, some Linkin Park, some. I don't really have one strict.
Were you in St. Louis long enough to pick up country music? Or no
I
country?
listen some Morgan Wallen
Okay, all right, I feel you.
sometimes.
Is English music better? Or you like Russian music
I
or?
listen to Russian music also. It depends. I was more strict before, and then the more I grew up, I was more like, if I want to listen something, I don't need to pretend like I only listen this part or this part. I could just listen wherever I want.
You know what a pet peeve is?
No.
Like something that just like bothers you. Like for me, my pet peeve is having too many things in my pockets because it annoys me.
Okay.
You have any pet peeves? Like anything like that annoy you? Like when your kids leave their shoes in the entryway?
Things in my pocket and kids' shoes don't annoy me for sure.
Slow
Let me-
drivers?
No. If you get angry on the road, like what you can expect from you if things don't go right in your life? One guy told me one very good lesson a long time ago, and he said, never judge people before you know the story. So I'm always, if somebody not driving well, I'm always thinking that maybe he's in rush, like some emergency happened. So I try to not be mad on him, but things would bother me. I think when something don't go right in hockey, I think about it a lot. Anything else, I'm fine. I'm like kids or like some clothes on the floor don't really, like you can fix it, you know.
How about you get a green light? So you've just had a victory. Your coach says, "Have a night, boys." Any NHL city, where would you want to be?
Florida, I think.
Yeah, the elbow room, maybe.
I actually never been there.
It's good. It's actually.
Oh, I
I
was there one time. We had the I think Rocky Party one time with St. Louis, and we started in there. But
Yep.
I didn't know at that time that this is like some legendary place or something.
I don't know. It's a relic for sure. I think it would survive any hurricane.
Because places in Russia is a little bit different than places here, and I just came. It looks like a bar, and everybody was very happy to be there. So I'm pretended like I'm happy too, but I don't really know. I don't really know the history of the place before that. Now I know.
It's like a boiler,
What else are we going to do here?
a boiler room.
I got this is now I know you've always been a hockey player but have you had like a real job? You know, like growing up, let's say you're 14, 15, 16 years old, do you have any other like real jobs, things you had to work at, like work at the farm or, you know, shoveling driveways, delivering mail, paper route?
Farm. I grew up with my grandparents until I was 10 or 11 years old, and parents of my grandpa had a house with a big garden on the back. So we worked there, but I wasn't paid for it.
You weren't paid for it? You were paid in vegetables?
I worked for, I paid in food and advices how to harvest right. So
Paid in gourds.
yes.
Perfect weekend. What are you doing? You got a weekend. You're just going to have a time. What would be your perfect weekend?
I'll spend time with my wife and my kids. Maybe leave the kids home with the older son, go with my wife somewhere,
Yeah.
or send the kids outside and stay with my wife in the house. But I think for me the most relaxing thing, like I want to be with my family. And I was raised like this by, again, my grandpa and my dad. They always told me like the family is the most important part in your life. And I was fortunate to, met my wife and having a good family now where like I want to go home and like I don't really want to go away and do something by myself. Like I think when you have kids, most perfect weekend is sometimes to just take a sleep and stay home and don't go anywhere in the morning.
Yeah, staycation. How about? Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, so you're dynamite on social media. You have a favorite social follow? Like somebody that you like to follow? Like the content's good?
I try to not spend much time on Instagram, to be honest. I watch some YouTube guys who like travel around the world, and I like cooking. I watch some cooking stuff. I like gaming. I watch some gaming. I have a couple of friends who's big gamers, like YouTubers back home. But I feel like every time you go on Instagram, you spend too much time there.
Yeah,
like
totally.
just scrolling, and
It's a dungeon.
I really like go there to see like what my friends doing, like what they post, because as you know, you get older, you don't call your friends like every single day. You just kind of call once in a while,
Right.
and I don't have a favorite fellow or somebody.
How about who plays you in the movie? You get an actor. There's a movie. It's called Vladdy. There's going to be Vladdy 2, Vladdy 3. It's like Rocky.
I was going to say,
Who do you have play you? You get to pick an actor. It doesn't have to look like you. It could, or you could just pick someone you would like to play you.
Doesn't have to look like me.
Up to you.
Oh my
Who would
God.
you like to play you in the movie?
I mean, if you say my favorite actor, my favorite movie is Gladiator. So like Russell Crowe
that's good.
from that movie, or Tom Hardy.
Yeah,
I like Tom Hardy as well.
Those are some strong picks.
you have your first car. So to preface it, my first car was like a terrible Volkswagen Jetta where the windows wouldn't go down. They were automatic, but they had like rusted out. So we never had the windows down. It was just a sauna in there all the time. Muffler was broken, loud, terrible car. But my first car. What was your first car?
My first car, I think in Russia you can have a driving license at 18, and I wouldn't do mine until I was almost 19. And my father would always stress me out, like you have to go do it. And in KHL in my hometown we have a locker room, and above the locker room there was a like hotel where team stays. So when you reach the first team, the KHL team, you have your bed there. So I was like, okay, I can live there. Like I don't want to leave home. I can live there by myself every day. And you
don't need a car.
You have a free meals. You have a free breakfast, lunch, and dinner. You have a locker room. You can always go. You can be in a pool or sauna. And I was imagining it's my house, so I'm just go like take a sauna in the evening, go eat. And I don't really need the car. But then my dad told me you have to buy something like older to learn how to drive, and I didn't listen. And I did it without him knowing. Like I bought a BMW 5 Series, just like a sedan.
Yeah. Nice first car.
I went to see it in Moscow, and they had a car. It wasn't blue, and I'm like, I wanted black, but they have no black cars. They say like it's another office, and I said, okay, can I have this car, but just in black? They say, yeah, okay. So I never actually see the car before it come. And I went to the dealership in my hometown and pick up a car. And I almost don't have a driving experience before, and I pretend like I did.
So you drive out, you're nervous, like, this is a nice car.
I didn't know how to start it. I was looking for a key. But yeah, it's, believe it or not, we sold that car to our friends last summer.
Oh, cool.
I use it till like every summer, and every time I use it when I come home, like I never buy anything else in Russia.
Yeah.
So that car never get broken, still feel like brand new. So it was a good investment.
Yeah, good for you.
If you were having a birthday dinner any place in the United States, you've played a lot of different places, a dinner you'd just be super excited about, what restaurant are you going to?
We actually went to one place this summer with my wife in New York, like Italian restaurant right by the Central Park. I think right there. I don't know how to pronounce the name, but
We'll search it up.
That's perfect. That's perfect.
yeah, I can tell you after. But it was amazing.
Since we're on the topic of food, you have any weird food combos? Like ketchup on your eggs? Like anything that's like...
When I was younger, I used to eat. My grandma never saw me do it, but I used to. If I eat chicken, I would dip a chicken in condensed milk.
Oh, wow.
That tastes nice for me.
I bet it does.
So instead of barbecue sauce, you'd use condensed milk.
When my grandpa don't see, I don't want.
What are you doing over there, Vladdy?
And my wife didn't really like this, so I don't really do this anymore.
Funny. No milk
We
for
should have
you.
brought some for
That's
you.
like a Seinfeld. No milk for you.
No, condensed milk is a big thing back home where I think every grandma cook. It's called bliny, like Russian pancakes. It's the thinner ones. You can roll them up. So you put condensed milk and you roll it and just
Oh, that's good. It's almost like it's sweet.
crepes.
Right?
It's like crepes.
Yeah. We made those Bellini. It's Bellini.
Yeah.
We made those here. We got to go back. There was an old posted up episode where we made borscht and I think Bellini. Now, will there be different ones? Like you'll have salmon Bellini. It's not like
You
dessert.
can put whatever. You can put blini is the same, but you can put caviar inside, or people put different stuff. Actually, St. Paul have a good Russian restaurant.
Yeah, Moscow on the Hill.
Something like not too far away from here. We went
yeah.
with the St. Louis guys a few times.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah. Borscht, is that good though?
Borscht is good.
We'll have to talk to the cooks downstairs because they did make borscht like a couple of years ago and it was good.
No, it does sound good. Just a couple more. Let's go. What's the last thing you binged watched, or the show you watched, or a movie, something on TV or movies that you watched, maybe with your wife, whatever?
Yeah, she watching the Turkish TV shows. Like I think I get into a couple. We watched them. It's a lot of episodes. But last movie I watched was I watched a Netflix series about Florida Gators.
Oh yeah, the SEC or no, the Swamp.
It's the Swamp. And I also watched Gladiator 2 on a plane to
The
here.
movie?
Yeah, the movie.
How is the second one?
It's not bad. Like I'm
It's not the first one.
I watched the first one maybe, I don't know, like 15, 20 times.
The first one's so good.
I think I watched Gladiator once a year, like at some point where I get bored on the road or somewhere, I just watch the movie. But I like the second one too.
Yeah. Since we were talking about Russia a little bit there, I want to ask, like, how important it is, or is it as like a Russian to play for the national team and at the World Junior, at the Olympics, at World Championships? Like, I feel like it's a really big deal, and I don't know that like North American players really understand, or people do, like how important it is. You talk on that a little bit, like how much pride there is in playing for the country.
I mean, it's sometimes I don't really understand when I hear that people get surprised that Russian players are honored to play for Russia. Like, if you go through the nations and you ask any other nation, like, would you want to play for your national team? Would you be proud? Everybody would say yes. So we raised the same way, where we watched like older players compete in the Olympics, compete in the World Cups. You grow up, like your grandpa tell you stories about like Russian five, and of course you want to represent your country. And the first step, in a way, it's usually U18 championship, where I was fortunate to make it. And since then it was U20 and World Championships, Olympics, and you cannot compare it with the Stanley Cup. It's different. Like, you can't put them in this or that, you know. This you play for your club, for your team, for the boys you like every day with, and there you have your friends you grow up with, you know, people for a long time. You represent all your country, all your parents, you know, the place what is your motherland. And I think everybody growing up have two things in mind in Russia: make it to the NHL, win the Stanley Cup, and be in Olympic.
The Russian five, now you're talking the Detroit Russian five back in the day with like,
Yeah.
and that, is that who you grew up kind of idolizing?
No, I idolized my dad. My dad used to play, and I looked at that time in late 90s and early 2000s. It wasn't too much information you can find online. We never had computers, so I can look up any highlights or something. And I always watched my dad play, and I would watch some other players, but like I want to be like my dad in the life and in hockey too.
And you know, his dad's Russian League scoring champion, was in the '94 Olympics, so obviously somebody great to look up to. I was going to ask you, you had a unique experience being recruited to Minnesota. As I understand it, Kirill called you, Coach Hines came and visited with you, had dinner with you. That had to be pretty great. What were they telling you about Minnesota, or why to come? What was that like when they were kind of courting you?
We figured out after last season, like, we don't want to stay in Detroit, and we have the same agent with Kirill, and I speak to him first, and I talked to Billy, and they explain what kind of guys are here, what kind of group, what organization trying to achieve. And I called Kirill, I talked with Kirill, and I think he called me back. We talked a couple more times, and we made a decision. And when decision was made, John said he wants to come over and meet my family, which is, we are really thankful for opportunity to, not only for him to see what kind of guy I am at the rink, but just see what our family is all about. And we kind of time it that all the kids will be home and he have a full look on our family. And we talk a lot, not only about hockey, but about life. And I do think that good relationship starts not on the ice, and you get to know each other. And the same goes for successful teams. If you want your team to be successful, like you have to build it outside of the rink, not the rink, outside of the ice in the locker room.
Yeah, completely agree. I was going to ask, when they talk to you about the team, whether it's Kirill or Billy, how do they describe the group? Like, what's the language they're using? Are they because obviously it appealed to you, it sounded good. How would they talk about the Wild, what they were doing?
It's not only them; it's guys who used to play here before. I talked to the few other guys, and everybody say the same thing, that it's a hard-working group. It's no dividing in the locker room. Everybody together. Guys who need to get help at some certain moments get help. It's unselfish, hard-working group, which is, I think every player wants to end up in this situation where when you work together, the guy next to you will do the same thing you do.
I think you're probably known for your shot, goal scoring. Is that something you worked on? Like, just naturally you have a good shot? It's kind of like a sneaky kind of hidden release a little bit too. Is that something that you've crafted over years, or you just gifted with it?
My father showed it to me that I even remember the day, like any young player, I started playing in KHL, I think 16 years old. And my first season with the men's was when I was 15. I played in the lower league in Russia. And he was a coach in the team, and he would tell me, when you get a puck, don't stick handle. Just keep it in front, try to move your body, and shoot faster like this. And until this day, I have a nets at home. I'm shooting pucks almost every day at home. I like doing shooting. Also, to be able to get a shot, you need to find a good timing to get open or create a space for yourself. But if you talk about shots, I was trained in a specific way, and I do it till this day. I like doing it. And it also take more, like pre-scout, the goalies play different, and during the years there's a different trends in the league. And I don't know what else to say.
Figure that out and get the shot to go for it. You ever mess around with your stick and your curve, or has that always been the same?
Always the same. The only bad part is 2 years ago they stopped making the sticks I used for 10 years. The ones Crosby used, trigger-free, I think.
Yeah.
I guess they just don't want to use older graphics so they can sell more with the new graphics, but I miss those sticks a lot. But I never change any flex or curve. I have a standard Saki curve since I was a kid.
Yeah.
And I only figured out 2 years ago there is a kick point in the stick. Because I never changed my stick, so I don't really know what is it, and I have to dig in online to figure out what is a kick point.
Yeah.
And because I remember I had some new sticks I liked, and they looked nice, and I get it. And when you shoot, the bottom part of the stick helps you shoot. I'm like, what is that? I never know it's possible, and I don't like it. I like when I think it's higher, where you just shoot with your power. And I went to talk to the guy, and I'm like, well, what's wrong with the stick? And he's like, it's a different kick point. And I'm like, what is a kick point? And he's like, what, you don't know? And how would I know? I never changed my stick for 10 years.
He's got 300 goals, no big deal. I was going to ask you on power. I mean, you're a unit. You're got the Quadzilla quads, and what are you, a gym guy? Are you just go crazy in the gym because you're a strong gentleman? What's your program in the off season?
I never worked out to get bigger or doing crazy stuff. I believe to work out like with the purpose. And I also was raised like if I work out, I will work out hard, and doesn't matter if I don't feel right or something. Like I'll go do the job done. And usually I work like nowadays it's the preparation shifted than like 10 years ago where you just grind. Like now it's more you grind, but also you need to do mobility and stretching and stuff like this. We have a place in Florida. We trained for the last 4 or 5 years, I think, with the guys. There's the Russian guys come there, and we just train as a group. My older son training with us, Mark, also. Just having fun, but it's hard, but it's fun when you're with the other Russian guys.
And your oldest is a goalie? Is
Yeah.
that right? Now, how did this happen? I mean, you got
He likes practicing shooting.
You got 662 points, and you got a goalie now. Did this slip through the cracks, or what? How did this happen?
He started late skating, and he played 1 year as a forward, and it's obviously needs some time to catch up. And just asked one time, can I try to be a goalie? And I asked this my dad. My dad said no.
Yeah, that's what most people say.
So I want to be. I played both. I played soccer, you call football in Russia, and hockey. And I want to be goalie in both. The both, no. So I was forward in both. And he said I want to be a goalie. And I'm like, yeah, okay, you can go and try. He went on try, like it. So I thought, okay, little guys get a little older. He get a shot in the head, he'll quit. And he didn't quit. And then he kept playing. I'm like, okay, maybe 12, 13 years old, more shots. He quit, don't quit. And then eventually I feel like a couple of years ago, I think 3 years ago, I brought him in with us for a summer camp. So he see that when he say, I work very hard, it doesn't mean what is really hard, how we work. And a lot of credit to him. He done well. He was that tired, but done well and like it. And I feel like he shift his mindset to taking a pride what he's doing. He's really enjoying it right now. I have no regrets. He's trying to be a goalie. It's stressful to watch games.
Terrible.
Way more stressful than when it's a forward because you always look at him. But he'll play in Dallas this year, and hopefully everything will be fine.
It's almost way more stressful, too, when you're watching your kid play versus when you're playing. Like, you play Stanley Cup Finals, you're like, I'm not nervous, but you watch your kid play.
You are nervous. Whoever tell you, he's not nervous, it's all not. I get nervous before some regular season games sometimes. I think it's a nature of the human body where when something big happening, you have doubts in your head, sometimes. And just go out and do it. But when I watch the kids, I'm dead tired after. If I'm at the rink and I watch the kids' game, I feel like I played 3 games.
It's like leaving the dentist, you're full flex for the entire hour.
I feel like it's. I rather have be tired physically, than be tired mentally, because I get used to working out and training and work hard, and I rather have the worst practice of my life than worst mental stress of my life. And then when you watch the kids, you not only want them to succeed, you want them to be safe, and there's a lot of stuff going on. So watching kids definitely more stressful than.
Yeah.
I was gonna ask you. We're part of our podcast is we really want to break the mold and bring a Stanley Cup to the state of hockey. You've done it twice.
I just figure out your head.
Hey, I like it. Turns out I like bars. So the first day with the cup, and then you got the second day with the cup. I'm just curious, what did you do? Did you change it the second time? And when you win another one, what would you do? You're a family guy. Maybe you just go to your house and sit with it with your family. But how did you organize your day with the cup? What did you do? The couple of them.
The first one, at that time, we could bring it back home. The second one, the league said that the Russian players cannot leave states with the cup.
Got it.
So we have to be inside the states. So the first one, we brought it back. Actually, I don't know who I should thanks to the Blues or the league. We had it for because my city was a last destination in Russia,
before it came back over to the United States.
I think so, but it was in Moscow the day before. And then they flew over, and because it's 4 hours flight we were managed to, like, we take care of the cup guys, and we would have it for a little bit in the evening and then next day. So we had a little dinner with my wife's family and my family, just a family with a cup, just a dinner with, and send the guys to sleep. And next morning we went to the rink, and I was at the rink for like, I don't know, 6 hours. Maybe all these people, like more than 10,000 people came to see the cup.
That's great.
I was taking like pictures, and they was managed to bring like fire department, army guys, like medical guys, like everybody was at the rink. So at first it was like a groups, and then just the fans go through, and then we went home for a couple hours, and then we had a party. Like we hired the singer, and it was a pretty big party. And then after we figured out that I think the most best time of the day was when we were with the cup, just us in the house.
Yeah.
So we're like, okay, if we are fortunate to win one more, we'll do it different way. And me and my wife believe that if you achieve something, you have to give it away. Like you have to give away to people too, because it's not only your achievement, there's a lot of people involved. And if you have something what other people don't have, and if you have a chance to share it with them, like you should do this. And we planned it that the second time we would go for photo shoot on the beach in early morning, just us, the family. Then we come back home, eat breakfast, and then we have events scheduled where we go to see kids in the hospital, like bring it to the hospital for workers, see the kids in the hospital. Then we would go to fire department, which they put it together with the police department, so everybody was there, first responders. And then we went to school. I think I forgot the name, but it's not like a families in needs, but there's the kids also, so we brought it there. I forget something.
Yeah, you did Boys and Girls Club. It looks
Yeah,
like
Boys and Girls Club, and then in the hospital we walk around. We see they let us go on the roof. Like we took a picture in front of like Fort Lauderdale. You can see the ocean, and then we went home. Just stay at home for another maybe 3-4 hours, and then we have a way smaller party at night. We had a DJ, but we bring up the closest guys we know. We just stay there, and
That's awesome.
That just all makes. That just.
if my life, if I will be fortunate to win one
Yep.
more,
Let's do this. Let's go. Come on.
We'll give away to the community, of course, but we'll probably have even smaller parties.
So we're not invited.
Most important thing is like you feel nice when you spend time with it and give it to people, but we make sure that we will have enough time to be just us.
Yeah.
Like your family, then like podcasts you've been on, and that would be. It's very small. There's only like 3 of them.
And then like the cook.
And then the cook.
I'll cook.
And then the cook.
We gotta let him out.
I know. I do got one thing. Your Instagram is outstanding. I got your wife just does everything, right? Does she do your Instagram? No, that's you. So you got like Niagara Falls. You got Coldplay. You're at the soccer.
Oh yeah. That one she helped me too. She organized the post, so I just need
She helps you.
I need to share.
Well, you got some
I don't-
skills. You got some skills on the social.
No, it's not. You don't need to be that too smart to have the skills there. But she always told me you have to post more, and I'm more like not a shy but private guy. And I know I've had, like I have a stretch. I think there. If you look, I only post like my kids or a dog, and she told me like people don't sign up to look in the kids or dog. You have to post yourself. And I'm like, okay, I'll try to do it once in a while. But I try to don't spend much time there.
Yeah.
But those 3 posts she make, I was like,
Yeah, she's.
all I need to do is just say agree, and then I have 3 new.
I did. I got to click on. I looked at hers, and then I'm like, okay, I see what's happening here. We got a little duo that are working together. But
I think I had in these 3 posts, I have my average for the last 5 years on Instagram amount of pictures. So I don't really. I think I might need to start posting something soon.
Well, hey man, we're so happy you're here. This was a really, you're clearly a deep guy, and a lot of the things you were saying were just really awesome how you look at the world. So thank you for being here in Minnesota, joining us, and spending time on the pod with us. Welcome.
Thank you very much. You guys don't lie to me. Your R was friendly. the guys over there always smiling to me, make me smile too.
Yeah, no damage. We did it. Welcome, Vlad.
Yeah, appreciate the time, my man.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you.